Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benefactor at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your DM for tonight, as we join Kate, Felicia, Nick, Corinne, and Rodrigo with their adventures in Ilaria. Don't forget that you can help or indeed hinder by using your channel points. Check out the nearly got there. Check out the options in the chat bar below. You can also join the chaos by clicking the Discord link, or support us in what we do by becoming a subscriber. So let's rejoin the players as they play episode 96 of the Benefactor. And hello, everybody, and hello to people at home. And I just realised I haven't, but I closed down the chat. So there we go. I'm doing.
We got
well.
Hermit. We got our boy.
We got
Hi, y'all.
That's all that matters. This is all for Hermit. Everything we do is for Hermit. That's the boy.
Hermit watches all our stuff. And it's our number one.
We have Jordan.
Jordan. We have a Jordan.
Hello. Anyway.
How is your head, Jordan?
How is everyone? Is something wrong with Jordan's head?
Yeah, he had a migraine earlier, so I don't know if he's still on it. But
I was thinking concussion or a hangover. That's less interesting. But hope you're feeling better, too. Right. How are you all? Anyway, I've spoken to some of you, but we've only just caught up a bit. We were talking politics and stuff.
I mean,
why politics? We were.
Yes. I have fun things happening in the school I work in. So we had another positive COVID case in the year group that I work mostly in, and especially a kid in the classes that I have been in. So fun. So I am now.
Corinne is now locked into the bedroom. Cannot leave. She can only have food that I can get under the door, so it's mostly crepes.
It's just crepes and that slices of cheese.
They're really good. You can actually throw those, at a distance, and they get enough speed. They just go straight under the door.
Nice.
Keep the packaging on though, because it gets a bit sticky under there. I've had to wash it. So Corinne's incarcerated. How about the rest of you?
And I mean, only incarcerated under my own fruition, really. I ventured to the shops, which is a very rare occurrence. It's only really when I run out of Coke Zero that I have to be like, I've got to go. I gotta get out.
Did you emerge from the house like the Eloy in the time traveler, just coming out and like the sun?
Oh, what does it happen?
Not the Eloy. The Eloy was outside. It's the Morlocks.
Right.
Morlocks.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I couldn't judge for myself, but probably. But
Nick is distracted by rugby.
Nick is distracted by rugby, so if he starts going yes in the middle of a really inappropriate moment, that's why.
We won't know because it's Ireland versus Wales. Although I'm hoping that the yes will be that somehow this year incredibly shitty rugby team managed to somehow pull something over on the Irish, but I doubt it because last score I saw was 6 versus 16. So just don't tell me. I can.
You're muted, by the way, Nick.
I think he's probably deliberately.
Sorry. I was saying it's not going that well.
No, I don't expect it to. Yeah, don't worry. I'll have the whole depressing episode later. It's fine.
There's nothing that brings me joy like watching the Taffs lose. That's all I'm going to say.
Home of fucking rugby, my ass. Right.
Excellent. Sportsman. Sports.
Hey, it's not often I go sports, so give me this, yeah. Although
everybody gets one.
Yeah, that's my one thing. Rugby is my only sport that I'm interested in. So there you go. Anyway.
You're muted, Felicia.
Still muted, Felicia. Yeah.
You're still muted, Felicia.
Still muted, Felicia. Can't hear you.
Cannot
hear you.
Oh dear.
I've been talking for on and off for a while now. That's annoying. I have forgotten to just change my mic.
Yeah.
That's probably why none of us were responding.
Yes, we were not ignoring
you. It sounded like you were responding a few times.
By the way, your dressing gown looks like you've got a mink on, which is incredibly classy.
It's very on brand.
It's a blanket.
It still looks like a mink.
By the way, Kate, you got like something weird on with Zoom that you got like options on.
I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot that would be like right in the middle of everything.
I don't look at the stream. I only look at you guys.
Sorry,
I keep on saying
Zoom is always so dark for me in comparison to everything else. So I thought, maybe I can adjust it. And I forgot I should have tried to do that earlier. And I just started doing it and didn't even think. Oh well, it's fine.
Exactly.
We're professional. We've been working for 2 years on this. Come on.
96. Oh my god, coming up to 300 hours plus.
We've only got 4 episodes, so it's going to be in December, right? That we hit.
It's going to be basically just before Christmas. Yeah.
We're going to do like some sort of Christmas special almost. Like, can we do
Christmas
it like a
special is gonna
flashback
be-
to their Christmas or have a Christmas in game or something?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
going to be episode 101.
Well,
So,
Christmas is.
the one just before Christmas is 101.
Oh.
It's something like the 13th or something. That's going to be 15th. That's it.
15th, because
So, yeah.
hopefully, all fingers crossed and thumbs held, I will be in Sweden on the 22nd.
That's true,
Maybe.
actually. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
So we'll see.
who
We'll
knows?
see. We'll on the build-up we will go for that. Trying for a few other things as well.
We
Anyway,
can probably
Hello.
smuggle you over
Hey,
here.
Snipe.
I want you here for Christmas, so the British government will have to get their heads out of their asses for it.
Oh no. Oh well, there's no
Good
hope.
luck with that one.
Good luck.
Haven't, that hasn't occurred in the last couple of centuries. Good luck with that.
So, Rodrigo, you're playing more Lancer at the moment, and not the game that I'm in, but you've been a Lancer guru for some.
Oh yeah, I had to be like the Lancer expert for Kevin. And it's really funny because it's really funny because I'm in a situation where I know more about the game than the DM. So sometimes in the middle of combat he'll just look at me and he's like, is this how it works? And I go, I don't know, man. I haven't run the game. Yeah, last session was awful, and the less said about that the better.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah.
Just needless to say, I don't wanna be near alcohol for the next 10 millennium. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Understandable.
Yeah.
You don't even need to tell me more than that.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna spare you the details. But yeah, to the point that I'm not even sure if I'm gonna be playing Lancer next week because we're being playing in like on a bi-weekly basis. I'm not even sure if there's gonna be a next session after that. But yeah, it's been fun, and it's like for the exception of that one last time, it's been fun. And also I learned that as much as I like helping people, I am not gonna be managing 6 character sheets at the same time. No, thank you.
Yeah, can't fault you there. That's not fun.
No.
Well, hopefully soon there'll be another campaign where you're a player. So
Thank you. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
we are doing what we can. So let's get into it. So when we left off last time, you guys had come to the village of Warrenford, and you know that this village, which is off the beaten path, is built on, in, and around a set of ruins, some of which have been restored to be some of the buildings in this village. The rest of the buildings are regular, good wooden houses that you would see pretty much everywhere in Vardencourt. The Vardencourt Empire in general is not devoid of forests. You would have thought something that has been populated so aggressively for as long as it has, that there would somehow be a problem with the forests here. But apparently not. Either the Empress and her predecessors has been very much into sustainable forests, or druids. It's probably druids. Druids is normally why you don't normally have places that have been completely urbanized. You go into the village of Warrenford and you spoke to a local farmer who gave you 2 names. I said Bailey Cloud for one of them. It's actually Bailiff Cloud, and Tavna Bell. Bailiff Cloud's real name is Amos Bradley, and that was revealed in conversation, but said, we all have nicknames around here, which started a theory with your resident Tabaxi that these people take on Tabaxi names for whatever.
Yes. Because both Cloud and Bell are names that could quite easily be fit into Tabaxi names.
Yep. But we're not going to start here. We're going to start elsewhere. A place where sound, light, space doesn't seem to exist.
Oh no.
A place that you visited before. the void.
Oh, no.
This is not so much a plane, more a metaplane of existence. It is the gap between planes. It's also a place of abject nothingness. Only the gods themselves were able to create barriers in this void, this place of total entropy, where all energy, matter, breaks down and becomes the nothingness surrounding. This is a place that has featured heavily in the Benefactor so far, as Farewell Barebones has looked into the void, stepped into the void, transubstantiated in a vision quest into the void a few times now, looking for what he believes is his family, screaming out into the nothingness, calling his name. This area, if area can be perceived, of the void is silent. The voices, if they were near, cannot be heard. Once again, there's no space here. And yet, there seems to be no adjacency to the planes that we know and exist in. A place of complete abstract. In the void, a tear appears. No. Find me the dwarf. And it disappears again. And then, because narrative loves company, a shoe, a single boot, floats by.
This bodes well.
In comparison to the scene just given, there is a cacophony of sound from the baseline susurrus that most people have learnt, have evolved into being able to filter out, to all those little sounds that you just don't hear anywhere else. Birds are a-twitter, the sound of a warm breeze going through long grass, the rhythmic shh, shh of the scythe. Serene, beautiful, verdant in colour, bright. The sun is starting to get low, but still casting beautiful shadows as the sky starts to go from a perfect blue and starts to be a whole watercolour of reds and oranges. We pan down into the canopy of a vast forest. Small break in the middle, almost spider-like the way it reaches out between the trees, where you can see evidence of stone buildings intermingled with newer wooden buildings. There's a rough town centre here. The way that produce and the harvest coming in is just placed on carts that are just placed in rows and on pallets suggests that this is not exactly a place where people come to trade all that often. It's a place where people live, an extension of their own houses, and you can see people are busying themselves with a huge familiarity. There are no strangers here. However, we know of 5 strangers that have just walked up the main road into the town. Farewell, looking otherworldly as the water genasi, in his green skin, shock of deeper
turquoise
colored hair, his resplendent armor enchanted. You have Glory, this opulently dressed, even in her traveling clothes, dark red-skinned tiefling. you can see the worn but intense stare of Eigen Canelm sat in his commander's coat. And currently, I think you had your gun out underneath the window of this, but no, actually, everybody got out of the caravan, didn't they? And then, noticed by some of the people here, but not any longer. You were noticed on the way up, but not in the town. Your resident tabaxi, snow leopard-like tabaxi, and secreted near the caravan, but I think if my notes are correct, hidden, is the halfling Cora. Correct any of this if I'm wrong, and I want to know. What are you guys doing? I don't
quite remember, but I could have cast greater invisibility on myself if I was literally meaning to sneak.
No.
Greater invisibility? No, I don't remember that. And greater invisibility lasts a minute as well.
Right.
Well,
I think we're just stealthing for the moment and then going to go invisible should you need to.
Well, I'll say, Kate, whether you did it or not,
I probably wouldn't if it's only a minute.
Because I didn't write it down. Yeah.
No, I don't quite remember us ending at that point, so I obviously zoned out right at the end.
Okay.
I don't know why I was
probably...
Yeah.
But
I think it was only me that's supposed to go around.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought we agreed that we were sending both of you because we didn't like the idea of one of us going off on their own because that was dangerous.
I mean, it makes sense, but she's going to hide so well I won't be able to find her.
Eclipse is Eclipse, and I think she can handle sneaking around with her passive stealth of like 26 or something.
I don't think it's capability, it's more what trouble she's going to get everyone else.
And I would remind you last time that she stealthed so well on her own, she did technically almost die and was making death saves by the time I found her.
That's the worry though, that
I would like to say that was just like extraordinary circumstances that happened in.
It might. Yeah, well, this is D&D. Welcome to extraordinary circumstances.
I'm going to remember you saying that the next time I do something strange and weird, I'm going to use the extraordinary circumstances excuse against you. But it would make sense to go in doubles if we can, because this place is fucking Yarnum, and I'm not ending up on the end of a pitchfork.
I agree. My only worry is if she's going to hide, I won't be able to see her anyway, so we will lose each other instantly as soon as she hides, won't we?
Not unless you move together as a team.
Yeah. Why don't you just send Aaron with Eclipse?
I was going to say, I could definitely do that, and I can try and follow her, but if she hides with a 30, I ain't got a chance in
23
hell.
23 you've got to beat.
No, well, 23 is my passive. If I put invisibility on myself, I'm rolling with advantage, which then...
It gets disgusting very quickly. Arcane tricksters, at a certain point, reach a peak where any form of stealth check movement, they're just...
Yeah.
All
I'm going to say is everybody needs an accountability buddy, and Eclipse more than anybody needs an accountability buddy.
It's an accountability team.
Well, if you have Awen with, because you can just beat through Awen.
I'm going to try and sneak with you. I'm going to ask Awen to literally hold onto your belt.
Yeah.
She's invisible. You can hide, but she will know where you are and she can tell me.
If Awen is attached to her, she can't hide from Awen when Awen is attached to her.
Yes.
So that's the way we're gonna do it. That works.
I like the idea of using your familiar, which is a sentient being, as a GPS tracking device, essentially.
Oh yeah.
And in response to that, Hermit, that's the reason why Awen's going as well, because now Eclipse has 2 accountability buddies, which is the minimum requirement for accountability buddies for all tabaxi.
Especially this one.
Agreed.
Yeah. So warlocks are the best spies. They outbarred the bard in a lot of cases. Having their own spy drone and the ability to make their magical item appear and disappear at will, if you get the right combinations, are just a number of things in their book. And
I'm also very roguey in my build.
Yeah.
So I can keep up with her a bit. My stealth, I'm efficient in stealth, sleight of hand, like all that sort of stuff. It's very roguey.
Yeah.
And
so if you ever want to play a spy game, Arcane Trickster and Feylock in the party will ace it every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
So they went ahead, right?
Only Eowyn and
Eclipse, right?
Eclipse, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So Eclipse, as you're there stalking your way
I will
through
cast.
the fields.
Yes, I will cast invisibility on myself.
I'm gonna say spare your spell for now.
Yeah.
Approach it if you want to approach the town. There's enough trees and fields of long grass that you don't have to do it just yet.
Okay, I'm
if you're
gonna
push it
through
later,
the grass.
yeah, I will tell you when you need to use it.
You just see her tail appear
Yeah.
above the top of the grass,
Yeah.
and then disappears out.
It's
Yeah.
classic cartoon where it goes "Whoop," and it goes this way.
Like a periscope.
Come here.
I'm getting some like Warner Brothers / Hanna-Barbera.
Oh,
Yeah.
we are full on
Yeah.
Looney Tunes. Yeah.
Yeah, full on.
And now I have the Animaniacs tune in my head. Anyway, as you approach the town, you can see what is very clearly the tavern. And as I said in my intro, there is a bountiful harvest pretty much everywhere. There's a few other things that you notice as you rock up. I would like, let's see, based on your backgrounds, probably only Nick and Rodrigo can even make this roll.
What type of roll is it?
Give me a wisdom roll with proficiency.
Oh boy.
Does my Hunter's Bane come?
No.
No.
This is.
Ooh, natural 20. That's a good way to start.
Wisdom plus
First roll.
proficiency. That's gonna be. I forgot what my proficiency bonus is by this
Plus
point.
3, plus 4 at this point.
Plus 4.
Plus 4.
Right?
Plus 4.
Okay.
29 for farewell.
17 for me.
Okay. You both get it. It wasn't super high. The things that you notice, you guys have both gone from village to village. Aiden, you went from village to village before the attack on your family, mostly going hunting undead that were nearby.
It's always two things. It's either we're coming to the village to help with the undead problem, or the village is the undead problem.
Yes.
One of the two.
It's one of the two, yeah.
I mean,
And
story of my childhood, bro.
Yeah.
with Farewell, it's slightly more expanded. Yes, they dealt with the undead, but also they basically worked palliative care, grieving relatives and friends, things like that. So they did the whole kind of Raven Queen cleric package.
Yeah.
So you went to a lot of villages. You've been to a lot of backwater villages like this. And one of the things you notice that these guys got their shit together. You pass under the canopies of, you go past the canopies of some trees, for the most part coniferous. And you can see that there are shacks there. You know these are mushroom shacks, so they have mushroom planters inside. And there's a lot of them, a hell of a lot of them. That you normally see like one or two put together. Not only is there a lot of them, but they're very well made. They're in orderly rows. You're surprised with that kind of skill that this isn't a village that's on a regular trade route. Now they did point out that they do get traders there, but not that many. You see other things as well, like for example, you can see as you go past some evergreens that every single one of them is tapped, and you can tap evergreens to get the sap out and a lot of water, and you can actually turn that into a kind of pine wine or liquor. And it's high in sugar, and it was something that was done a lot in the medieval period, and it's something that's been mostly lost now. You can get it in the Forest of Dean in the UK. Everything seems to be about produce. It's about food. Everybody here is a farmer of some level. Now, that's nothing new for these kinds of villages. Pretty much every village that you've gone into, they'll normally have like a sideline in lumber or tanning or mining in some cases. When you went to visit Merrick, their sideline was peat, bricks of peat that they dried out so you could put it onto the fire. But these guys really are heavily into it. You're surprised that more trees have not been fallen to make more fields, but they just seem to have worked in this little pocket in the forest to get as much as they can out of it.
How many sort of grain silos and other storages do we see?
Not that many. Not that many at all. You can see in the center of town there are barns. There's a few grain silos there, mostly the kind of old-fashioned dome silos. None of the new kind of cylinder ones that you'll find in the cities. They must be exporting it somewhere.
And as far as we can tell, no obvious signs of, as you said, trade. It's very much not many people come through this route.
No, I mean, this was a dirt path. Granted, a well-trodden dirt path. There were 2 giant ruts that your caravan just fell into straight away. But ordinarily, if it was as productive a place as it seems to be, they would normally have cobbled a road going in first, so that the larger carts could go in there. Even with the trods that have been neatly compacted down here, you have a feeling that some of the larger carts would struggle to get up what was only a minor incline, but the slightest amount of moisture on that road would have meant that the larger carts would have just ended up buried in it.
Okay.
Your caravan seems to be...
Does anybody speak Elvish?
Give me a moment. I forgot what languages I speak.
Grinders.
I actually speak Elvish somehow.
So I say in Elvish. All right. There's too much industry for too little people. There's no way that this many farmers would need to consume even half of what they seem to be producing. And there's nowhere where it's being stored. We'll add that to the red flags, but let's be super careful and keep an eye on Eclipse. I need somewhere where I can prepare some stuff. Should we head over to the tavern? You've disappeared. You're going.
Yeah, okay.
Is it not better to do that in the caravan rather than in the town?
I was gonna say maybe. I think it will be safer for you to do anything. If you're gonna do anything, you should do it in the caravan.
I kind of wanted to people watch and read lips as well, but I can do.
I can read lips now.
Oh no. And that isn't terrifying at all.
What are you planning to do? Because if it's in the middle of a tavern, that's exactly where everyone's going to be, or at least watching us very carefully.
Nothing that you wouldn't expect a cleric to be doing anyway. It's very sort of low-level magical stuff.
Considering the looks we were getting from good old Farmer Joe back from. I know that's not his name, but that's what Aiden's calling him, right? Right. Back there, even some low-level magic is probably going to attract some unwanted attention.
Fine. In that case, let's go probably straight to the tavern, and hopefully Eclipse and Eowyn.
I have her eyes. I have eyes on her. I know where she is.
If you don't mind, while you guys go to the tavern, I do want to do some thorough investigation on my own.
Oh, you gotta have a buddy, accountability buddy.
Accountability buddy, yeah.
Accountability
buddy. Glory's ghost thing. How about you take that? It might be creepy.
I get shivers. Yeah. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that.
You know what? If you want to go on your own, you got a choice. You either go with us as the group because we're all accountability buddyable for each other, or
okay. Important question.
Yes.
Since when do you use the term accountability buddy?
I've always used the term accountability buddy.
Ever since Eclipse got herself stuck in an oubliette.
Actually, no. Like ever since I was a child. I mean, didn't you like? I mean,
No, this is the
when you
first
went
time
out
I'm
to
hearing you
places
say
when
it.
you were kids, didn't they? Didn't they
No.
make you hold hands
No.
and like he's your accountability buddy?
No.
You two are accountability buddy.
I want to do a flashback. We flash back to Aiden's childhood, where 7-year-old Aiden is following his mother into an investigation. There's a sudden scream a little way into the village. About 20 people in the village fall dead. At which point, Aiden's mum turns around, gives him what seems to be a knife made out of ebony, and says, "Anything comes up to you, stab them with this. I'll be right back." Unsheathes her sword, charges into the village, and as she's running, turns around, points at him, and goes, "Right back!" and charges into the village. And
no, we really didn't do that.
Buddy.
We really didn't do that.
And now you can imagine like little tiny water genasi like children all walking around holding hands in like groups, because that's how the caravan taught them. This is a true story in Southeast Asia. They when they teach you how to cross the road in places like Vietnam and Cambodia, where like there's just tons of mopeds, they tell you walk as a group and walk consistent speed and you'll be fine. They'll just go around you. But the one thing they always used to yell was sticky rice, because sticky rice sticks together in a big group.
Nice.
So it's either sticky rice or accountability buddy, and I always prefer accountability buddy.
Yes, the point is, you have a choice of going with the group or taking the glorious creepy familiar with you.
Yep.
All right, I'll take the group, but okay, fine. It's not gonna be as thorough as I wanted it to be, but I'll take the group.
Hey! I resemble that remark.
And besides farewell, like I don't get why you would need a buddy, really. Like, I understand why we send someone with Eclipse, because she's being Eclipse. But, like, when you're a child, everyone else is supposed to know that they're not allowed to touch you.
No.
Yeah, and that's how we know you grew up
Before we
rich.
could continue discovering...
That's how we knew you grew up rich. Come on!
Before we continue discovering, like, unpleasant things about our childhoods, shall we move on?
Yes. Yeah.
As you step out into the street, a portly tiefling walks out of the tavern, catches the last snippet of Elvish that you say, and goes, "My he is not speaking Elvish."
Nope.
Do any of you know Gnomish?
Absolutely fucking not.
Nope.
In that case, what he said was complete fucking scribble.
Cheers, I'll drink to that, bro.
He goes, "Oh, sorry, I thought I heard you speaking Gnomish there. I am Taverna Bell. Welcome to our humble village. The sun is still high in the sky. You would have been able to have got quite easy to Lindisdang. May I ask why you're coming here? Any specific reason?" You know that Lindisdang is the next kind of substantial...
This is Bell, right?
Yeah, this is Taverna Bell.
Okay.
He's just introduced himself.
Right. Allow me. Don't worry about it. We're stopping for food and some extra supplies. We've been on the road for so long by now.
Yes, but of course...
rations are getting kind of tiresome. I want a real meal, you know?
He nods emphatically with this huge grin on his face, and we will be able to do you fine fare. As you can see, we've had a record harvest. We could barely cope with it this year. It's very strange. We had no idea that we were going to be blessed by Melora in such a way. It's caught us quite off guard. We're all incredibly tired, so don't mind if we seem a little lackluster. But we've been trying to get this harvest in now for nearly 6 weeks, and it just keeps coming. It's you can see we have, and he points to the cards. We have more than we could ever want.
Insight check if I'm there.
Go for it.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
You know,
I like
I'm
to get
not-
in that. I like to get
I-
in on that.
I'm not don't be suspicious. Don't be.
I love being a halfling sometimes. Goodbye, one. Fuck off.
24 for
Oh,
farewell.
damn it. That wasn't much better. In
Don't be
9, 10,
suspicious.
11, 12.
Don't be suspicious.
12, okay.
Don't be suspicious.
Kate, so Cora, what he's just said absolutely explains everything you see around you, where you're like, yeah, okay, no, I get it, you know. So yeah, you can see that the grain is just lining up to the mill, and you know, yeah, it's a big deal, you know. Farewell.
Mm-hmm.
The second you hear it, you just smell a lie. Straight away, he's offering too much, too emphatic.
God damn it.
Right up front. There is a lie involved here somewhere. I will allow you, because that's in your head at the moment, that he's lying. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Can I guide myself?
Yes, you may. Yeah.
Okay.
As long
myself.
as it's something that you're aware that you're doing, you can take a little prayer in the back of your head and ask the Raven Queen for guidance.
I'm rolling so well. Good dice. No jail for you today.
Good dice.
Good die.
Good dice. No jail for you. Such a good dice. Good dice.
Good dice.
23. 26.
26. Yeah, as you smell the lie, you look at the same thing that Cora's looking at. Cora's looking at the huge amount of grain that's going up to the mill. You're looking at the mill itself. The mill is coping very, very well. By the looks of it, all these carts will be done by tonight. Looking at the sacks that are being put by the side of this quite substantial mill.
So it is grinding the grain into flour.
Yes, and doing it very, very well. You can see that there's a different type of grain that is put to one side. It's kind of like oats, and you can see it's only going through a partial mill. So it's rolling the oats, you think, for some sort of porridge or maybe like kind of flapjacks and things. So it's just softening the grains up a little bit for use as a thicker, more substantial grain. But yeah, they are making flour like you would not believe.
I must say, I'm impressed. I've been to many villages. I've never quite seen a mill that produces so much flour. You guys must be the breadbasket of this entire area.
It's so nice of you to say so. No, that would be the providence of River. River, and there's a gnome that comes out of the mill, dusting off her hands, and
are these guys all humans, by the way, Sam?
No, River's a gnome. I just said
No, yes.
River's a gnome. Belle is a tiefling, and
Belle is a tiefling. Okay.
Yeah, Belle is a tiefling. River's a gnome, and
what color tiefling? Out of curiosity.
Kind of like where Glory is more red. He's got kind of a ruddy brown, like a dark.
Ochre?
What?
Like ochre?
That's not a color.
Of course it is.
Yes, just because you can't see like half the color spectrum.
Oh god, I forgot.
I mean, that's a bit unfair.
Says the one who says teal is not a real color.
Teal is not a real color.
It's a lie. Don't believe them, Nick.
Yeah.
I like teal. It's a very nice color. I wish you could see
The
it.
forbidden colors.
It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy.
Forbidden colors.
The only real color is octarine. Belle kind of waves. River waves back, and you can see River's covered in various tools. You've seen artificers before, and River's quite clearly an artificer. They're bringing out a sprocket and kind of, and he says, yes, if it wasn't for River, we would be knee deep in rotting grain right now. But no, compared to other years where we have had to struggle to get by, this year we will be able to what's the word? Export more to the other places nearby, and maybe get a little bit of restoration money in the coffers. Lie. Farewell. I'm going to trip you on. You're like, yeah, I don't believe a word you're saying right now.
Oh, that's
seems
so
too well practiced.
lovely. It's good that you're getting some good luck for once. I'm sure
yes.
Malora blessed you.
Yes. She is. She's keeping us well. We've needed this. We have needed this. We've had too many hungry summers, and Felicia, give me a charisma with proficiency, please.
A charisma.
It's a spellcasting roll, by the way.
Oh, it's the spellcasting roll.
Yeah,
okay.
Yes,
you're a charisma caster.
without your focus and stuff. So
without focus bonuses. Yeah.
So it should be like +9.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
Which makes it a 24.
24.
We're all like beasts.
two
We're gonna
things.
roll like shit in combat.
Oh god,
Yeah.
yes.
So 2 things, Felicia, being that you beat the score by 5, is first of all, hungry summers, hungry winters, surely. Second of all, the when this Taverner Bell was basking in Melora's glow. I mean, the sun is just hitting him now, and he's saying about Melora, you've never seen a less genuine praising of a god
than yourself.
and you lived in Atolzaran, where people basically worship Tiamat so they don't get punished. And even then, you've seen better displays of fake devotion.
Yeah.
He's not a Meloran.
I turn around and go,
no.
You must then direct me to Melora's shrine. It seems unfair that if she has given such boons to you, that
got him.
I must also give my thanks as a cleric of the Raven Queen, as surely by doing so you have ensured that the wheel turns, and I would feel remiss if I didn't do anything further.
I'm going to trip on by the fact that both you, Nick and Felicia, got very good scores. Neither of you are taken in. You're just seeing someone who is very well prepared when he goes, absolutely, and you'll be able to meet Bailiff Cloud as well. He's leading a prayer meeting in the Temple of All Faiths at the moment. Will you please...
Lead on.
I'm taking. Absolutely, I'll take you there.
I mean, if we can get them all together, I mean, that's a condensed group that we can just let Glory melt. If it all goes completely beat tongue, I mean, that's a large number of bodies
the
in a
church.
combined.
So funny how
Bleach and fire, my son. Bleach and fire.
All I'm going to say is, if it's profaned, I'm doing my God's work.
It's so funny how by this point, Glory has become the party's equivalent of the BFG from the Doom games. It's like it's what you take out when shit goes bad and you shoot it at a group of people and the entire room evaporates.
Yeah.
It's the whole you can't shoot a gun at the planet.
If I do
Glory shoots a gun at the planet.
If I do an acid wall circle with damage on the inside, I can trap everyone and do 7
She's the BFG. She's the fucking
damage.
She's when your back is against the wall, you take out Glory and the entire room melts. There
Yeah,
you go.
Exactly.
just like pull up Glory.
And I have my custom made spell called Melt now that does 10d6 plus 40 acid damage.
Which is
Saber pass though on that one.
Which is the reason why we're just like, if this all goes badly, we have the solution.
For no particular reason, can you all please log on to Roll20?
Simon, by the way, quickly before anything happens, when we're being taken to the temple, right?
Mm-hmm.
While we're walking through the village, I want to do. Basically, I want to look for signs of what I want to call the Canam checklist of bad villages, right? All the little signs of,
yes,
something's
Rodrigo.
wrong here, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the fact that Aiden's pulling out his notebook, ready to do his basically his what was it Xperia review. How many burning pitchforks
does it have this tick? Oh, does it have that tick? Okay, if so, it's a flow chart of yes, no, yes, no, burn it down to the ground.
Because,
strange mute guy
something you have to bear in mind.
Chick.
Something you have to bear in mind is that while the Canalms, they're Order of the Ghost Slayer, which means they focus on the undead, they're still blood hunters. They still deal with cults, demons, devils.
Oh yeah, they deal with whatever turns up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the idea that the Canals already have like a list of things to look out for whenever they go into a village, right? So while we're walking there, I want to go through the mental checklist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the leader,
He's
so
our
you
duty
should have
health and safety
memorized it.
inspector.
Yeah.
So I've corrected this roll. Thank you, Matt. So give me an intelligence with proficiency. Roll, please.
Cool.
What am I
All
doing?
of us, or just
Guidance.
Aiden and Rodrigo?
No guidance. You don't
Bugger.
he's doing this. You have no way of perceiving that he's
Fine.
doing.
It's
No, it's fine,
I'm
it's
not gonna
fine.
say it out loud. Intelligence plus proficiency. Good thing I'm a smart boy now.
Yeah, it's a very smart
That's
boy.
why I changed
You're
it.
a super
Otherwise,
smart
it'd be
boy.
wisdom.
That's 20 total.
20 total. Okay.
Once that would have been a critical.
Yeah, as you're walking around, there's a few things. I'm just trying to see what on the list would be on your list.
Check.
Okay, so things.
Okay.
Obviously, it's gonna vary from village to village, but things I'm looking for is things like rotting food, dead or sick livestock, buildings that for some reason people don't want you going near to. Right? Like things like things like that. The things that will be quote unquote off.
Yeah, Uncanny Valley stuff.
Uncanny Valley stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go through the list because I can imagine the other stuff.
Yeah.
So first of all, rotting food, none.
No.
Okay. Second thing, sickly livestock, the opposite. All the creatures here are hale and hearty.
But it's the opposite then. Instead of being so bad it's uncanny, it's so good.
It's the extreme, yeah.
These guys have got the shit together. Yeah, that's something that you kind of noticed before. But when you go looking for sickly livestock, you're just kind of like
they're supplying someone.
That you look at it like there's a pen with a few cattle, mostly kind of cows and things, and you look at it and you go, I'm no farmer, but I'm pretty sure each of those could probably be a prize cow that you could sell at market for a lot. You can see that there's actually a what seems to be like a kind of farmer's housewife, I guess, that's currently grooming one of the cows. It's actually just like in the same way that you would, put a brush to your horse. It's putting a brush to one of the cattle. Cattle seems to be happy with it. Seems to be enjoying itself. You can see that there's a couple of milkmaids coming from what is quite clearly a dairy further down the road with a yoke around the neck. So quite substantial. One of them's a female dwarf, quite well built, and has a yoke around her neck, and she's got what seems to be 2 large cans of milk. And there's a human as well, and she's obviously taller than the dwarf, but also very muscular. So there's this hardy farming stock around here, and you're there like, the only thing that's hitting you at the moment is that it's too nice. Your cynicism is having trouble coping with it.
Well, for cattle employment.
There's a couple of things as you're starting to look for it, you see a couple of problems. So a couple of things that just, it's not a problem, but it just doesn't seem right. So for example, there's a guy who's lifting up bags of flour, grain, potatoes, you don't know, but it's quite substantial sacks of quite clearly food. He goes to pick up two of them, lifts it up, doesn't seem to be struggling with it, sees that you're looking, then has a problem with it, and then only picks up one and takes it into his house. By the looks of the number of things that's in front of the house, you're like, you're not taking all that in there, are you? What are you doing? Preparing for the winter. Now, you are approaching winter. It is quite late in the year.
Kind of like fall, right?
Late fall, yeah. So this is harvest time.
Yeah.
You know, so the certain part of this wasn't that out the way. You know, bringing in the last of the harvest, sure, no problem. But the excess, you realize the excess is actually outside some of the houses as well. And as you watch for a little bit longer, you kind of crane your neck back as you're getting closer to the church. You do notice that he is taking in all of those bags into his house. Huge amounts of food that don't seem to be looking to sell any of this stuff. The milkmaids, as they go in, you expect that they would normally drop it off in like a collective place where everybody would come and get their milk. You watch as the two milkmaids walk their load, which is two large churns, straight into their respective houses. That's fresh. It's just little things like that most of us living in the modern world wouldn't bat an eyelid to, because we wouldn't know that it's out of place. Yeah. But it's like watching an octogenarian lift a bag with, let's go excessive, 24 pints of milk into her house when you know that she's the only one living there.
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, 2020, we'd all be
also,
like, yeah, that makes
I
sense.
mean, yeah. I mean, there's two answers to this. Well, three answers technically. Demon. It's 2020. Crazy cat lady. Those are the three only options you can have.
There's underground tunnels in this whole village, and they're all going in and then down into some secret thing, and then worshipping some sort of like demon underneath or something. They're feeding something clearly. But God doesn't know that.
Monster in the basement kind of thing, yeah.
I can't believe we're actually playing Dusk, but in D&D.
Rodrigo, I would just like to point out the fact that the monster in the basement is most likely a undead tabaxi.
Oh yeah, it's like it's gonna be some sort of
the milk.
Yes.
Just this giant undead cat going, milk.
Yeah, cats don't like milk.
Cats are lactose intolerant.
It doesn't stop them, I assure you. Bearing in mind that my cat now knows what the kettle sounds like, which means he knows that the wife gets the milk out, or I get the milk out of the fridge. So the moment he sees the kettle go on or hears the kettle click, he patters into the kitchen, sits down, and meows for milk because he knows it's out.
It's like as soon as the sun goes down, my cat starts screaming at my mom for food because they go, "Oh, it's dark now. It's food time."
Yeah.
You do not underestimate cats.
That association is like in Canada, because I lived in Canada for a while. If bears hear a gunshot go off, they run towards it because they know something just got killed.
Yeah. Simon, these new badges that we have.
Yes.
Can they communicate with everybody or just individuals still?
You can cast a message to multiple people.
I was about to say, can I open a group chat?
Yeah.
You can.
Group chat.
I open a group chat. Everybody gets that invitation, and everyone's like, "Oh, not another Zoom call."
Oh, you're just gonna get endless messages of people going, "Hi, thanks," thing, and it's just like useless. What is this? What is relevant to me? Come on.
You turn notifications off, and then they ask you a question. Then it's all your.
It's just awful. I go.
Aiden puts the settings to only notify me when I get mentioned.
At Aiden.
Yeah. So, no. Farewell's not the guy that would use at Aiden. Farewell probably.
No, I said Eclipse is.
It's all at Aiden.
Yeah. Farewell... Like every message.
Okay, but who's okay? Let's be real though. Who's the asshole who pings at everyone?
I mean, yeah.
There we go.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Yeah, I mean, totally Farewell, because he's like, but it's all relevant information. What do you mean nobody doesn't want to hear it?
This got 2020 very quickly.
Speaking of at everyoneing, Farewell goes, so just a thought, just a crazy thought. The first one was pride.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the second one was.
Envy.
Gluttony.
This is gluttony. This has to be gluttony.
Has to. Yeah, gluttony. Or greed.
Yeah, or I was going to go gluttony or avarice. Yeah, one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm not one to be speaking about virtues and vices, but this smells like gluttony to me.
It as it's only food as far as we can tell.
How
I agree.
are the villagers built? Are they heavy-set, skinny,
I've described
average?
each of them so far. They are all burly farm folk.
Strong
Arms. Yeah. The only one that was anywhere near portly was the taverner. And even then, you have a feeling that for the type of... You've seen quite a lot of tieflings. For the type of tiefling that this guy is... he's actually quite fit for that type. They tend to be very, very round. They are loosely related to pit fiends. And you know that they're like the Welsh. They've got square frames. And for his square frame, yeah, he's fairly lean and muscular.
And that in itself is weird because you would expect, I'm working on my own background here, that a farming community like this, you would see poor diet, bad backs, broken, people broken by the hard labor.
By the looks of all the fruits and things like that they're bringing in, bad diet is not one of them.
Yeah,
but yes, you would expect, like, people who are working as hard as they appear to be working, that you would see, as you say, that the older farmers would normally be showing signs of a bad back or a limp from an accident, maybe a gammy leg, or everybody seems to be kind of buff.
Yeah, but they're getting that so that they can deliver. After Farewell says this, I think I'll message and be like, Eclipse, how many of these are we after? Do you know? Like, are there 7? Or are there more or less?
There are 6 that we know of, but
I would assume that Jordan himself is the 7th.
It might be the 7th, or the 7th thing might reveal itself as we go on.
Yeah.
But
it might not be the 7 sins anyway. It could they're just like that, aren't they?
Well,
I mean, it's
1 is chance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is a pattern.
Yeah.
We haven't found the pattern yet, but I think we're about to.
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of makes sense. I mean, if we're talking that long ago, it's old magic. It's deep in the ground. It's powerful stuff, ancient stuff, and we should be very cautious. Eclipse, are you okay? Are you safe?
Don't be suspicious. What am I doing, Simon?
I was about to cut back to you. So
she's doing that. She creeps next to a person.
Sing it to the person.
She's doing the Pink Panther thing, like where she's like following behind somebody and she's completely mimicking their moves. And as the person stops and turns around, like she turns with them. And so, like, that person could never
stuck
see
to their back. It's that classic, like, cartoon thing of them just stuck to the back.
Made famous by Houdini, by the way, who was very good at that.
Wow.
You stalk up to the village, and you see a few things that Farewell and Aiden saw. You don't necessarily get the relevance. Mushroom farming is not a big thing in Naruka. You are importers. My God, are you importers? So when you kind of stalk up, you're kind of like, something smells very musty here. And you're just there going past these strange, musty smelling houses. See that as you're skirting around and kind of getting an angle on the village that the others don't have, you do end up going into an orchard. It's just, as you're plotting this stealthy route around, it's just an easy place to go into. This orchard has basically fruit trees and fruit bushes intermingled. So there's always lines of fruit bushes that you can kind of duck down under. You stop and kind of position yourself as a bunch of fruit pickers come by. They've got these strange baskets that are wicker rings, and at the bottom of the wicker ring is a bag, like upside down with a drawstring. So the drawstring is on the bottom, meaning that they can go up to a fruit float and open up the drawstring, and all the fruit will fall out into the float. You can just about see the float from here. So the float is a man-made river, I guess. A long trough with water in it, which means that the fruit doesn't get bruised. They go up with the apples and open up the drawstring. The apples float, bobbing along in the water, going off to what seems to be a sorting house, processing, whatever they're going to use them for.
What are they saying to each other, Simon?
For the most part, they are picking with a certain amount of speed and a certain amount of professionalism here. Give me a perception check.
Also, a reminder that I can read lips. Also, hi, Dylan.
Yep. Your read lips will actually come in useful. Hey, Dylan. And Scorn. You missed your boot, dude.
Yes. Sorry,
everyone missed the boot in chat, apparently.
Well, in the case of Jordan, I think he didn't know what the boot was.
Well, no, Jordan was there, Simon.
Yeah,
of course he was. He was playing
for the Monday game.
Okay, you missed the boot. Never mind. Right.
Yes. My passive wisdom is 15. So, let's see. Passive insight. Let's do an insight check. It's +1, so that's not too bad.
That's for perception.
Perception. Yes. What I'm talking about insight. Perception. Which. Yeah, it's also +1. Ooh. Dirty 20.
I just saw Roll20 has a map on it now. Not scared at all. It's all good.
Yeah, it's fine. Just don't.
I'm trying not to look at it, because then.
Boy. Who says we're gonna have a fight?
So you get up to a bunch of pickers, and bear in mind you're trying to stealth. It's difficult to get stuff on, but you can read lips. That's taken into account.
Yes.
And you can see that they are picking and filling up as much as you can. You can see that there seems to be a little bit of peer pressure here, as if anybody's fallen behind, they're kind of like, come on, and they are taking the fruit off the branches very, very quickly. They're going along with these little A-frame ladders that they're just putting up against the tree, skittering up there, pulling the apples off with skilled hands. The way that they're just flicking the stem of the apple so it's still attached, and filling up their bags and then running down to the float is impressive. In a way, you're kind of a little bit in awe of the proficiency with which they're doing this. Clearly, a generational farming community. One of the pickers, and they're all kind of mid-20s onwards.
Any children I've seen so far?
You haven't seen any children so far. You can see one of them looks at the apple, and it looks like they're just about to take a bite, and someone goes and glares at them with probably they're like a bit harsh, the level at which they're glaring at them really harsh, and they go, "It's not time." They put the apple into the basket with hands that slightly shake, and they carry on. Once they're past you, you can see that there's a decent dash for you to go between here and the float. You could probably either get to where the party are if you want to catch up with the party, you could either do it via the.
I just realized I have advantage on the perception wisdom check because I have the thing that travel gave me.
Yeah.
That's only for intelligence checks, not wisdom checks.
I thought you gave me Fox's cunning, which is
no only the one intelligence like you eagles race. The intelligence.
I sure it was Fox's cunning. Okay.
Because you were
I remember
investigating,
eagle too. So
yeah, so it's always intelligence that I gave it for you.
So you've got two choices, Eclipse. You can either go up to the fruit shed, or you can double through and probably sneak behind the cattle. Lots of smells, lots of noises. You can hear happy baying and stuff. You can probably look at. So do you want to go and look at fruit or meat? And after that, you have a choice of either staying and making more observations or rejoining the party. So first of all, fruit or meat?
Fruit or meat? I think I'm gonna make myself invisible before I go further to make sure that I am not discovered snooping around.
Mm-hmm.
So I cast invisibility on myself. And so did I see them say anything, Simon, at all? Or was it just...
you haven't... They are saying things, but they're mostly saying things like keep up and you missed one. Things like that where pickers would normally say. So nothing out of the ordinary, but they are saying things.
Okay. I will then... I think I'm going to go have a look in where they process meat or fruit. I'm going to have a look with the cows and the animals there and see what... Are the people by the meat, Simon?
Yeah. You can see the meat. It's clearly got a long path, which you know will go to the slaughterhouse, and there's a happy little paddock of what seem to be mixed cattle. So you've got cows in one paddock and sheep in the other. The sheep have been sheared, and by the looks of it, they look like mutton stock. I will give you that. You understand mutton stock. So they're no longer going to be used for wool. They're going to be they are there for killing.
Yeah.
Looks like there's quite a few of them that's going to be killed as well. So apparently not only the plants have been productive.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look by the meat. So
okay.
Sneak by. Do you want some stealth rolls at all?
At this point, yeah, because you're going to be going further into the town. You said you made yourself invisible, so give me a stealth roll with advantage. I doubt you're going to get a natural one. So,
I mean, even with a natural one,
now
I still take 10. 25.
25, sure. You sneak up to the paddocks, and one of the wranglers is walking down the long path back to the paddock, and this conversation goes ahead.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So the one comes up and says, the one that's already in the paddock speaks to the one that's approaching and says, Angel, how's Spark doing? And the one apparently called Angel goes, yeah, he's doing okay. The smell's kind of getting to him, you know? But I think he's going to be able to hold on till time. I said, okay. Doesn't need to swap at all? No. Why? Do you need to be there? Oh, no. No. No, I'm fine. I'm okay here. Raw? No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Just I don't know, just a little skittish. I don't want the animals to to detect it, you know? He goes, you haven't been looking at them, have you? And he's no. And you can see as Angel walks up and places a hand on his shoulder, he goes, look at me. Roar looks at him and says, no, seriously, I'm fine. I just...
Roar? Or what is
Roar.
it? As in
that's
raw.
what you heard. You don't know. At the moment, everything is audible. So he says, no, I'm fine. I'm just, with the problems recently. And at which point Angel says, that was months ago. Are you okay? I don't know. It's just... Anyway, he's skittish. I'm skittish. Anyway, they're not coming this way, are they? At which point Angel says, no, Belle's got them. It's fine. Looks, one of them's dressed up like a cleric. It looks like the pilgrims. Probably some bloody history buff coming up to look at the ruins. Okay. Do you think everybody's on? Is everybody okay? Do you think? Yeah, they're fine. I mean, a couple of us are a bit antsy like you, but other than that, we're fine. How's she doing? Oh no, he kind of puts his hand on his stomach, almost like he's pregnant, and says, no, she's doing all right. We had a good chat. No, I think she's okay at the moment. But it's difficult. Yeah. She's scared. I'm scared. Do you think they might come to us? I mean, it's not these guys, is it? And he goes, no. Look at him. Look at that caravan. Bloody hell. Do you think somebody would be able to do that? Would be going around in a bloody caravan? And the guy, no, I don't suppose they would. No, it's strange lot though, isn't it? Look at it. You've got that guy in the coat. Look, he looks like he means business. Angel goes, what, the kid? Nah, he's dressing up to impress people. Give him a couple of years and he'll be there just getting a regular job like everybody else. It's just a phase, look. What about the girl?
Their parents. Oh, God.
Yeah. Raw looks at Gloria and goes, what about the girl? An Angel with a kind of shit-eating grin
with her dragon scales.
Yeah, with a shit-eating grin on his face goes, oh, we know what the girl is. Come on. Why else would she be traveling? She's not going to get any business here.
I mean, the caravan was a mistake.
Oh, if Gloria had heard that.
Iden was terrible.
I suppose
Gloria senses a disturbance in the force.
There was a great disturbance in the force, as if a village of people suddenly cried out in pain
and then nothing.
And cried out for pain. After Angel says that, Raw bellows out laughing and goes, oh, I needed that. Why is she traveling with the vicar?
It's a cover.
Sorry. Farming folk are very rarely observing the niceties. And Angel goes, well, useful, I guess. Restorative magics and things,
I love the halfling.
They can't see the halfling from where they are, so they can only see 3 people.
The party and Cora.
So they think that Iden
there are no
and
words
Gloria
for this one.
are okay.
They think Iden is an emo going through his edgelord phase.
That's just me, honestly. So
Farewell is the local vicar, and Glory is no better than she should be.
I mean,
BG division starts intensifying.
Jordan!
What did Jordan say? I don't have chat up in
Forgive me, Daddy, for I have sinned.
Ah!
I'm not going to even dignify that one.
The
curse falls
what
upon
seems
you.
To be absolutely farming folk chat.
Except for some weird things.
Yeah.
Angel says, you know what? We should get Belle to we should tell Bell that it's going to blow his cover if he doesn't employ her at least. Who do you think we can get to be a patron? At which point Rora's there going, oh no, oh come on, no, I know, Winter, get Winter. At which point he goes, oh yeah, Winter, it's got to be Winter, and they both go to charge off to find whoever the hell Winter is. At which point a dwarven woman with calloused arms walks up and says, "What the fuck are you two doing?" Just watching as they're about to leave. Oh, we got this great idea. I don't want to fucking hear it. How many head of cattle you got left? We've got to fill these paddocks twice more before time. Stop fucking about and get on with it. You take them. At which point you can see Angel goes to one of the paddocks. Goes like this. And 3 of the cows just immediately form a line and walk out.
There we go.
Get them done. Get them processed. She kind of adjusts herself and goes. And you can see that she's grabbing hold. She's got quite a portly woman, quite stocky. She grabs inside what is a kind of heavy, almost like flannel blouse, and kind of pulls at her bra underneath the collar and goes, "Can't wait until it's time. This body's killing me."
There we go.
And steps away.
Do we receive any of this through?
I mean,
through
Eclipse, once she's heard this, she's gonna go off, open group chat, and just word vomit all she just heard.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
So this and this happened, and that and that.
It's just Eclipse is typing like constantly, like on the bottom. It just
yeah, but she writes like a sentence at a time, so she doesn't write like paragraphs.
So how I text.
Yeah, so she writes a sentence.
It's the worst because you think she's finished. No, she's not. No, she's not. Oh, okay, now I have to answer that one. I can't answer the previous. Oh no. Yep.
There's about 500 lines that come in one after another.
Okay, so after that word vomit.
She doesn't sugarcoat it much. She'll just say it as she heard. It's like, oh, so.
I've just realised halfway through this explanation, Glory's just going to look back at this murderous look.
Don't. I will lean over and whisper very gently, "Please don't kill the peasants until they give us a proper reason to." I know that's more than enough reason to for you, but I'd at least like to get to the bottom of this before you melt. And after that, if you wish to embarrass them, go right ahead. That sort of bullshittery is not agreed upon. You may embarrass them, but please don't kill them right now.
After all this vomit, Cora's just going to message back going, "Yeah, and what about me? What did they say? What did they say about me?"
I think that's worse, isn't it? Is like, what did they say that even Eclipse couldn't repeat it?
So after all of that is sorted, I'm gonna chime in with okay, at least that tells us a bit of information. Whatever it is so it's not mind control because Aiden is still going through the checklist.
Yeah.
Right?
It wasn't mind control.
Yeah,
But
it's not
it
mind
seems to
control.
be,
Whatever they're doing is willingly out of their free will. Whether it's like something they want to do or they're being coerced to do, that's another matter. But it's not like they have a parasite in their brain telling them.
No, I think they're doing it. They're being slight coercion or something. They seem a bit happy, but they are very efficient and they are they seem a bit stressed. There's something about their bodies. With the tabaxi names and the bodies and the body comment makes me think that these might be like tabaxi stuck in some kind of weird loop. Anyway, I'm gonna meet you guys at the mausoleum and
no, it's It's a shrine, not the actual mausoleum itself.
Yeah, Simon.
Yep.
When she mentions bodies, I want to
Yep.
see if I like when the whole this body is uncomfortable. I want to see if I recall anything I heard or encountered that matches what she just said and what we're seeing. I mentioned this time my Hunter's Bane actually is gonna come in handy. So.
Yeah, go for it.
Intelligence, right? Just straight.
And I will guide him this time because I've already.
You watched the pensive look on his face. I'll allow it this time.
Yeah.
That's a D4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a D4.
Okay.
I had a D4 on. I've just got this horror. I'm just like, please just be tabaxi spirits in human bodies.
No proficiency, just straight intelligence.
Demons. Don't be demons.
Yeah, proficiency as well. Yeah, if you're Hunter's Baning, it means it's something you're proficient in.
Okay, give me a moment then.
Yeah,
22.
Would be...
22
yeah.
total.
So there's a kind of film Sherlock Holmes moment where for Aiden the world slows down and your training and hours upon hours of reading in the Duskhold suddenly just crackle in front of your eyes. You're checking for all sorts of different things. You're looking for creatures that are the equivalent of body snatchers. You suddenly reminded of stories of the mind flayers. Doppelgangers, all sorts of stuff. Not only the stuff that you're seeing in the behaviors of the people around you, but but also the things that Eclipse, and this is where one of Eclipse's character flaws works in your favor, because when she says she relays everything, she relays every single word to you in what is now a huge migraine in your head. The gesture where the one person was putting their hand on the stomach like they were pregnant gets mentioned, and you tag that. The one person, same person, saying, was it he's Ansi, I'm Ansi.
No, she's Ansi.
Sorry, first it was he, then it was she. So first he said something about he, I, and then she, I. And with the she, I, he was putting his hand on his stomach. You get told about you suddenly recall small tadpole-like creatures that can do things as well. You are reminded of the aboleth, being that was a recent thing that can make thralls out of people. But then you remember, nope, the thralls from an aboleth can only breathe water. That is your Innsmouth for you right there. And you dismiss that. You're there almost playing Guess Who with body snatcher style.
Basically, yeah.
So you do succeed. So I will tell you,
yeah,
none of those show up. Every single one that you think of, and you're pretty sure you've got the whole list, there's something that's a deal breaker. Whether it was the way that they were talking or the lack of certain marks that you suddenly kind of glance at a few of them and notice are missing. Certain aversions. Nope, we're under daylight. It's not that one. Hang on. Some of them are visibly eating. Actually, sorry, no, none of them are visibly eating, but they visibly have food. So quite clearly they eat. So that knocks another one off. All of these things, and you're just there going, also the main thing about this is that everybody just seems so damn comfortable in their bodies. Other than the report of the rather well-endowed dwarven woman whose bra straps are digging into her shoulders, everyone seems to be very much at home in their body.
So no conclusive,
No,
okay.
But something is hinky. You're like, it's none of the usual suspects.
Okay, that is alarm bells then. Cool.
Yeah. The alarm bells are still ringing, but now you're even more anxious by the fact that you can't just go to a chapter in your head and go, oh, it's this one.
Yeah, it's we're dealing with an unknown here. I'm basically, that's what I say to everyone. I don't say everyone that the thought process. I'm just saying, yeah, this doesn't sound familiar. We're dealing with something
And with a certain amount of exasperation, you realize that you're going to have to actually write this up when you go back to the Dust Code, because you're the commander now. And it's your job to write the next chapter.
Paperwork.
You can probably ask Farewell to write some things in the not secret pad for you.
Actually, yes, you can delegate. So yeah, if you ask Farewell to write it up, you can just take it and put it in the log. Yeah.
Aiden will do it, but
I was about to say, with your intelligence now, you could definitely do a detailed analysis of this.
So, like, I want to imagine that Ainan's handwriting is like worse than mine. So
this is funny because my handwriting, my actual handwriting, is shit. So
I mean, we have
keep making parallels.
We have all seen my wonderful handwriting, so.
Felicia, you're muted again. Felicia, you're muted.
You're muted again.
I said that I hated my handwriting, then I learned calligraphy, and now I don't anymore. It worked out.
This is awful.
I mean, it's the same as mine, so we're even. There we go.
That doesn't look that bad. You can read it. I think the only bad handwriting is when you can't read it.
One time in fifth grade, someone asked me, "Hey, so because my handwriting was so bad, so hey, what did you write here?" And I go, "Oh yeah, I wrote."
Don't know.
Your handwriting is so bad, not even you can understand it. Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Anyway,
sorry.
That's so you guys aren't really splitting the party in that you are dividing and conquering, but you can all talk to each other at least. At this point, you guys have got to what has been referred to as the shrine, and when you go up to it, it does seem to be a large, ornate. Actually, Farewell, give me a religion check.
Can I do it as well? I'm proficient in religion.
Yeah, anyone proficient in religion can roll this.
I will join them, Simon, as in I run up and join them. I'm still invisible though, because I don't think the British hasn't me.
Yeah, I'll roll onto your 25, so you're
19.
19?
That's gonna be... give me a moment, math. That's gonna be 15.
Okay.
Cool. I tap Aiden on the shoulder while invisible.
I was gonna say I probably warned them that the eclipse is close, but maybe I don't do it in time. Maybe I think about it and then see that she's creeping up.
You're a Phalok, of course you're not gonna say it.
Cora, you've been getting a blow-by-blow account of everything that Eclipse has been doing, by the way. So in your private line between you and your familiar.
So I know if there was anything left out in that spiel of verbal vomit, which there wasn't really. No.
Yeah. So the so Nick, Farewell does notice that the shrine in front of you is repurposed, as many things around it. It is what seems to be quite a large, ornate tomb.
Is this the mausoleum, Simon? Is this the location?
We'll find out. Yeah. You take a look around you, and you can see that at some point, this was a tomb that had battlements around it. The wall probably was no more than, say, 15 foot high around it, but it was definitely around. And then probably outside of that, the other stone buildings. Now that you look back, almost barrack-like, very utilitarian. You have a feeling that this is maybe you've seen places before in terms of archaeology of rulers being put to rest and then having like an honor guard outside. Normally semi-retired or retired soldiers that can't be in the field of battle anymore, but can be stationed at a place to just keep people out from looting the place. Eclipse. Aiden, you get most of that as well. You do get that this is not a built shrine. What you don't get is all the analysis of the battlements and the barrack.
I switch on Eyes of the Grave just out of curiosity.
Okay, what's the distance on that?
60 feet.
60
As long as they are not behind full cover, total cover, and are not protected from divination magic.
No undead around here.
Okie
None
dokie.
at all. In fact, quite quiet considering what it is.
Something in its benefit, then, at
You
least.
said my name. So.
Yes, Eclipse. You have Tomb Raider as your background. So
she's got really short shorts and really croppy top.
Yeah,
and,
and you have cat boobs.
Tits.
Yeah.
But they're like PS1 era cat boobs.
Yeah.
So triangles.
Triangle.
Triangles. Yeah, you can cut glass with those puppies.
It's awful.
The thing that you get without a roll is that the thing in front of you is indeed a tomb. You have seen enough.
Oh boy, here I go stealing again.
Enough architecture to suggest that this looks like one of those tombs where there's like a miniature chapel up top. So whoever is entombed here, there's a chapel up top which you think was probably where pilgrims would come. You don't get the same thing about the battlements and the barracks that Farewell would get, but you have a feeling that this was a place where people visited on pilgrimages. That was
anything
that's pretty much it.
That jumps out like Jordan related. That
nothing that seems to be very specific here, but you haven't entered yet.
Yeah,
so
I've got some ideas, but I realised that I've been coming up with a lot of those, so I'm happy for anybody if there's anything immediate they want to do before I mention what I'd like to have a look at and check out.
Just as a reminder,
we're not inside yet. We're gonna go inside.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. Primarily, everything I want to do is inside because I need
also,
to be inside to see it.
before anything, shouldn't we take a quick 10-minute break right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, Rodrigo. So we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then when we come back in, we are going to investigate a chapel.
The mausoleum.
It's definitely not gonna end up
Perhaps.
like Resident Evil 4, we promise.
Perhaps a mausoleum. A mausoleum.
Mausoleum.
Anyway, I'm going to recharge my coffee. See you guys after the break.
Bye.
See ya.
And welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the extra delay. Anyway, when we left off, you guys had already picked up certain inconsistencies. As you came into this village, talked to Taverner Bell, who, through the conversation, you got him to lead you to the shrine. Eclipse, who is still invisible, still stealth, skirted around the village, collected some more information, shared it with you all, and now is invisible and near you all as you get closer to the shrine. Walking in, there's a few things that immediately hit you. First of all, there's a set of stairs that go down into the ground, which means that this shrine part of what you have established as a tomb is probably around about a meter lower than the ground around it. Whether that's because it's sunken slightly, the ground is built up, as ground is wont to sometimes, around an old structure, or whether this is deliberate, you're not entirely sure. The ground around it is well kept. It's pretty much a lawn, actually. It seems to be well tended. Seems to be the only ornamental thing here. Everything else seems to be functional, well presented, but functional. And you step down and you can hear someone orating inside. You step into, as you look at Roll20, so this map on Roll20 is supplied to us through our Patreon account with Neutral Party. I'll just put in the chat their Twitter handle. Some fantastic
Simon,
maps on there. Mm-hmm.
I'm not able to move my token.
Oh, I will sort that out for you now. And weirdly, it says that that was controlled before by Nick because it was an encounter where you were there but you'd already left. Oh no, actually it was encounter where you were still with us but you weren't there that week. You've got access to it now. You come into the back of the. I can't move this now. There we go. You come into the back of the shrine, and it's laid out in a church format, I guess. There are pews that seem to be well maintained. The floor is decorative with marble, which seems to be a little out of place, but you do know that this village was made around the ruins, so maybe all they did was just buff it up. There's a couple of cracks in some of them, but it all seems to be fairly well made. It's you can see that there is a statue to each of the good dawn gods. So all of the gods that have been mentioned so far that you see in the cities, there's a statue to each of them. This seems to be a shrine of all faiths. By all faiths, I mean all faiths in places other than Atalzaran, because they only have the good gods here.
Excuse you?
Yes, there is no shrine to Tiamat. There's no shrine to Asmodeus.
How dare they call it a shrine to all gods when it doesn't encompass
all good gods?
Yeah.
All good gods, not the queen of dragons, of chaos and greed. Is not generally something you put as your state figurehead.
Map worshippers go home.
Anyway,
you have seen in your travels, you have seen something that I haven't really had cause to point out too many times. There is something in Illyria called an Alabaster Way Shrine. Alabaster Way Shrines specifically only have the good gods in it, and they can be found throughout most of Illyria. There is a variant of that, a Granite Way Shrine, and the Granite Way Shrine will have a mixture of gods. And the general gist of it is that they don't have to be good, but there's some that are always omitted. Any way shrine, for example, that would have Orcus on it would be hunted down and destroyed.
Orcus is not a god, though, is he?
Still worshipped as an archdemon, though. They are as close to a god. They're as close to a god as an archduke is close to a prince. Very high on the divinity scale.
Oh, snipe. We've all
What did
been
he
there.
say? What did he say?
I think I just fell asleep at my desk because I have no idea how we got here.
Yeah, fair.
As you step in, there is a few other things to note. I'll get you to do some rolls in a minute after we do the first scene. But you do see in front of you there is quite a well-to-do man, about the first person that you've seen that is not in kind of merchant's clothes like Taverner Bell or workers' clothes. And he stood at a slightly strange lectern. You're not quite sure what's wrong about it. And to the left and the right of him are two figures that seem to be busying themselves in the corners of the chapel. On the right-hand side is a person who is stood almost in a vigil, with his head bowed, contemplating maybe the words that's being spoken, but certainly with their eyes, they're looking at what seems to be an empty bowl in front of them. Or you kind of think that this person is scrying. Normally they would look into water with drops of oil on the surface of the water to be able to scry. But as you get closer and get certain vantage points, you see that it's empty. That's the one on the right. The one on the left is currently performing what seems to be some sort of ritual cast spell, whilst mixing up some liquids, presumably a potion or something. Bit strange to have an alchemist working in the corner of a temple. Normally, something like this in the corner would be preparing of holy water or healing oils, or in some cases preparing some sort of draft for paladins. This guy doesn't seem to be doing any of those. He's mixing something together, not entirely sure what it is, but it's the oration that hits you first. And let us take the example of the All-Father, he of the two aspect, the All-Father and the Ever-Child, Pelor that rains down light from above to be able to give life to this world. He who directly empowers Melora. This, he kind of looks around and smiles, symbiotic relationship by two gods, by which is an example to us all. We must work in society as part of cooperation. We must look to the example, the mistakes of our past, where division, self-centeredness has blinded us and brought upon us great price. Think of Cord, who, even though he wishes to kill his brother Bane, stood up in the Dawn War to defeat the Titans.
I don't buy this.
Mm-hmm.
Cooperation made them stronger, and now, as they are rent asunder, they find themselves in eternal turmoil. Brothers and sisters, we have been brought together by circumstance to be able to be one, to be stronger. This is our continuing mission, to be better than we were, to understand by our mistakes, to learn, to grow, to be together. The gods are here, and they are here with us in our journey, although it may be. We are not like the city folk. We are not like our neighbors. We find ourselves in a unique position in this wonderful, wonderful monument to history. Let us all be grateful for what we have. Let us be grateful for this wonderful, bounteous harvest that has been given to us by the gods, ladies and gentlemen, to allow us to continue and be strong.
What is the vibe in the room, Simon? Can we have a vibe check of the people?
Vibe check.
Vibe check. Of the
Roll for
people. Yeah, roll for vibe. How are the people that are witnessing
It
this?
does not
Do
vibe.
they seem sleepy? Are they like, or are they enraptured? Are they just? Do they seem like they just want to get away?
Okay.
What is
Okay.
the-
Yeah. Is this Church of England or not? I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
So passive insight first, because
Yes.
I think that'll tell you most of what you need to know. The people who are there, now bear in mind this is daytime. The people who are there, they seem to be mixed ages, all of them able-bodied. So why they aren't out working like the others, you're not quite sure.
Passive insight is 15.
Yeah. When he's there and he's making these points and there's punctuations that he's making points as he's going along. There seems to be a flow to his oration. You have a feeling this isn't his first time. And also the fact that he seems to be leading the religious oration. And also, this is Bailiff Cloud, who is actually the leader of the settlements as well. So he seems to be the religious leader and also the town leader. Normally, those two aren't the same unless you're in like some sort of
cult,
some sort of
cult.
religious retreat. That you're specifically going to a place
Cult.
to live under a particular god. As he's saying these things, he's making the point, and he makes the examples and saying cooperation is needed. Some people are, pretty much all of them are agreeing with their body language in some way. Some are nodding, others are smiling and looking at each other. They seem to be encouraged in some way by this. At this point, I'll get you to roll insight, not perception. Everything is right there in front of you.
Only them two?
Anyone who wishes to,
Okay.
anyone who is scrutinizing the crowd.
I am scrutinizing.
I rolled lower than my passive,
19.
so I don't get anything extra.
That's garbage. Yeah, it's a 6, so...
Yeah, I rolled literally the same twice. So, yeah, 19.
19. So with a 19, you do get an inkling more, and there's a bonus that you get as well. The diff lowers for you because you are a preacher.
Yep.
So yeah, you are a cleric. You have done this before. So looking at the crowd, you can see that he's got them all. He's got them all, but he's got them all for different reasons. You can see that one of the crowd there, the lady in blue on the right-hand side. Oh, sorry, there's two. In blue with black hair. She's nodding along and smiling at people, encouraging them all, and kind of liking the fact that they're all smiling. They're all smiling and nodding. Looking at it from your point of view, Farewell, you think there's two types of nods here. There's nods of agreement, and there's nods of... It's kind of a resigned agreement. So they're kind of like, yeah, I'm struggling with it, but yeah. Then there's those who are emphatically nodding as well. So everything from the accepting but struggling to the zealotous.
Unless there's something anybody burning wants to do, I do have an idea that could help us.
Idea?
Just quickly, I want to say that in the group chat, I think everyone's just going cult, definitely cult.
Yeah, cult. Yeah,
cult.
definitely cult.
Well, it's basically going to help us answer that question because they're not going to.
Yeah.
If it works, because they won't be able to lie. But I'm trying to mask what I'm doing through prayer.
Okay.
It's a good job that I'm a divine caster, as most of my somatic components for casting is prayers.
Yeah.
However,
So, Farewell, you know that you could walk into this place and fall to your knees in the aisle and start praying, and no one would bat an eyelid. This happens.
I don't quite go that far, but what I do is I walk into the middle and I wait for a quiet moment where he passes. I clap as he finishes. And,
he looks at you weirdly as if to say, "Why are you clapping?"
He
Awesome
has
habit.
no idea.
Yeah, yes. Well, I think I look like a cleric of the Raven Queen, so
Yeah.
I scream.
Clapping
cleric.
in church doesn't tend to be a thing that happens either here or in Ilaria.
Okay, so we don't clap then.
Yes.
Do we?
Well,
Well, clap.
Farewell, me.
Yeah.
Farewell claps.
Oh yeah, farewell can absolutely clap. It can be a thing that he does, but it's just something that the bailiff looks at you as if to go,
why? ¿Por qué?
He's smiling, but he's like, okay.
I go.
In the group chat, Gloria's like, I've heard more convincing sermons from priests of Tiamat. Not even the priestesses. They know what they're doing. But
oh, this guy's a phony, absolutely.
Yeah, I go, Bailiff Cloud. I must admit, it's been some time since I've seen such a sermon with vigor. And it was good to see that somebody...
Why, thank you. A brother of the Raven Queen to come in. A brother of the Raven Queen, everyone.
Father.
There's this voice from nowhere that goes, Father?
Father.
I hear you're racist now, Father.
Oh, so you have seen Father Ted then? Okay.
Yeah.
Regrettably.
And he says, ladies and gentlemen, another example here, as I'm sure that brother, and he gestures for your name.
Yeah, I'm about to go farewell, and then you hear, Father! Comes out of nowhere, and then farewell, bare bones. And if I may, I would offer unto a prayer to Melora for your hard work.
He says, but of course, please join us. He seems very genuine.
Simon.
Yeah?
After all this is done, I do want to say I want to make a perception check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I want to see, like, as Farewell is doing this, I'm, like, keeping a tab on the entire room.
Yeah.
So I step forward a bit more.
Yeah.
And I unclip my prayer book, and I flip.
He steps to one side and gestures you to the lectern.
I'm quite happy to do so, as long as I want him relatively close, because basically I'm trying to get
next to you and grinning. He's really happy.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the 3 people here in the front, because he's making potions, he's doing something weird, and he was delivering the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I stand here, and I open my prayer book, and I lay it out on the lectern, and I go, of all the trees that grow so fair, old Vardencourt to adorn, greater anon beneath the sun than oak, ash, and thorn. Sing oak and ash and thorn, good sirs, all of a midsummer's morn. Surely we sing no little thing in oak and ash and thorn. And as I finish casting Zone of Truth at this point here, and it's got a 15-foot radius, and it's a Charisma 18 saving throw.
Okay, and people are aware that they're under it, aren't they? It's an overt spell.
It is an overt spell, but I'm also aware that he succeeded and who has failed.
Okay.
Only an affected creature is aware of the spell,
yeah,
and thus can avoid answering questions to which it normally would respond with a lie. Such creature can be evasive in its answers as long as it remains within the boundaries of the truth.
Sure. As you do that, because the range that you've done that, the 3 people in the pews at the front. Oh no, actually,
because I'm dropping it here.
So 2 people in the pews in the front react, as do the 3 that you intended. And I'll get you to do your perception check in just a second, Aiden, but I think this might give you some.
No, that's okay.
The bailiff suddenly gets a look of joy, and he goes, "She heard you. I've never heard a sermon like that." And as he says that, you can see that the alchemist looks a little kind of, "What was that?" and then kind of a look of realization on his face. The person looking at the empty bowl, and you can definitely see it's empty now, looks up from the bowl and goes, and almost like panicking, starts looking into the bowl again.
I know who's failed and who's succeeded, by the way.
Yep, I'll tell you that in a sec. The two people in the front row suddenly look in your direction, and they look scared.
Good.
Aiden, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for anything. How do I say this? I'm looking for people's reactions, not just for what just happened, but I'm looking for like
I can see. Sorry, go on.
Hush whispers, hidden daggers, like people making plans, or reactions, that sort of thing. Anything that can, anything that might be off, basically.
Okay. So when the two in the pews in front of the two people in the pews who got affected, when they react and they look a little bit scared, the woman who I described before that was nodding at everybody, she's wearing a faded blue dress, but still quite well to do. What you'd normally see as maybe a farmer's wife's Sunday best. She's human. She's got her hair back in a bob. It's black, but with salt and pepper streaks of gray in it. And the second that she sees the two in front reacting, she puts her hand on her stomach, almost like a baby's just kicked. But she's well past those years. She's early 50s. She puts she looks at them, kind of narrows her eyes, and puts her hand on her stomach.
Okay, this is actually Yarnum then.
And
yeah.
The ones at the back can suddenly react a few seconds after the ones at the front. Nick, everybody has relented.
Willingly failed?
Yes.
Interesting.
They let in the divine energy. When it hit them, they let it in.
Interesting.
I want to see. While this is going on,
I think
Simon,
Cora
I will
failed
be
too.
looking. I'll be looking.
Okay. You have to tell the truth.
Simon, while this is going on, I want to look
I have to
for
roll.
secret passages
Roll, I'm in
or anything that. Where is there like any way you can go from here?
Yeah, give me a roll for the secret passage check.
Imagine that would be investigation.
Yeah, I was gonna say investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got advantage.
This one, I
remember?
do have advantage.
Yeah, because I'm still maintaining concentration and it's not been an hour yet.
No, because you just cast Zone of Truth.
Zone of Truth is not a concentration spell.
No.
Is it not?
Nope.
No.
Okay, well then. Well, that's a 17 on the dice, and I have a ridiculous in investigation, so that is a 29.
As well polished and as pristine as the tiles are in front of you, you can see that one of the reasons why they're so well polished and pristine, and that somebody has gone around with a grouting knife to take out any dirt between it all. It's quite clear that there are a section of tiles that can move in the floor. The tiles are just in front of the girl in pink.
To a group chat. Hey, I found a secret tunnel, guys.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Well, what a lovely sermon. I must say, some of those things I have never heard before.
This is, sorry, are you finished, Brother Farewell?
Not yet, but my companion Glory here is a devout follower of her own faith, and I trust her.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
I don't have to.
He's
say
not
it.
under the truth spell.
I
just realized
I am under the truth spell because I'm within the zone and I failed my save.
Oh,
which is the reason why everything. I'm within the zone.
He can still say that though. So
Yeah.
he didn't lie.
I'm not lying. She is a devout follower of her faith, as far as Farewell is aware.
As far as he's aware, yes.
Yeah, as far as Farewell is aware, she's a devout follower of it. And as such, trust her with my life.
We lost Corinne.
Yeah, we lost Corinne.
And I very much welcome any thoughts she might wish to share with us.
By the way, I just realised where you placed it, which was here. Count 1, 2, 3, like a knight's move. And the woman in the bun would actually be in the zone of truth. I'm going to say that she's slightly outside of it, as far as you can see. Yeah.
Meowing.
Aiden, you also need to make a charisma saving throw. DC 18, because you're technically within the zone of truth.
Oh, come on, I have -1 charisma. What the hell?
Yeah, welcome to my
Isn't
world,
it
dude.
wisdom? Isn't
No,
it wisdom?
charisma.
No, charisma.
Despite my plus
Charisma.
10
I do know my spells,
charisma,
I promise you.
I
It's
rolled a
charisma.
2, so I'm definitely within it. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
like,
I don't
the
pass
halflings
it.
won.
Let's just say I don't pass it.
I rolled a 4 with a -2, dude. It's all good.
Yeah, so the lady with the bun, I'm going to say she was outside the 15 foot, just for narrative's sake, because I don't want to go back and double back it all.
Yeah.
So you don't get any disadvantage by this. In fact, there we go. I'll move a 1 back. There we go. So the rest of the narrative makes sense and the observations make sense. Otherwise, it'd start confusing you, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he says, "Oh, well, would you like to do? Would you like to come up and testify yourself, Ms. Glory? What was it? We here
I make a motion to just tell her to keep her distance.
Oh no, I was just wondering if you could tell some more about this, how the gods are connected. You seem so well informed, and I'm not of the continents. I haven't heard all the tales here.
Well, that's exactly why you've come here. Where else but a shrine to know more about the gods? Absolutely. Are you finished, Brother Farewell? May I continue with my own testimony?
By all means, go ahead.
He stands next to you, rather than kind of ushering you away from the lectern, knowing that you're a fellow preacher of a kind. He stands right next to you, and he says,
Oh no, Simon.
What happened?
Something important happened.
Oh shit! There we go.
What happened? What happened? I'm not looking
go
at
with
chat.
Wild magic.
Points.
Wild magic is set
on,
too low if you
why?
don't want it to happen every week.
Snipe, roll me a D100.
Only 5
Let's
grand
see
is
what the
nothing.
gods.
I mean, I can't deny anybody
Exclamation
that's willing to save up
1d2, isn't it? 1d3?
5K's worth of
D100. So
channel
exclamation point D100.
So, I mean, my God, 5K's worth of
I
channel
mean,
point.
they do this every session.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
because it's easy to get 5k. I've got 31k again. I can't spend it on anything because I keep not
think there's a
being
way
able
to-
to.
I have almost 50k again, and I've already bought the Discord role, and I'm in every game.
Yeah, well-
So 1d100, not 1d6.
Well, you're gonna have.
I only have 4.8, so I'm not
boy,
getting
that's
any
it.
more.
Well,
It's
when
on
the
Glory.
Lancer game comes up, you can help our Lancer crew. 88.
88 on Glory.
Oh wow! I'm gonna have fun with this one. Okay. So,
¿Por
so
qué?
we carry on, and he says, "How blessed we are! How blessed we are to have a brother of the Raven Queen amongst us. He would be able to tell you that when the Raven Queen, mortal born, she showed cooperation, ladies and gentlemen, cooperation that I have been preaching about here in this ancient and most sacred shrine. When she cooperated with the gods, she did ascend." And when he says ascend,
Simon, you're doing it too well. I hate you.
when she says when he says ascend, this girl here in the corner suddenly lifts out of her chair and levitates 10 foot in the air. This dome at its lowest is about 15 foot. At the highest is about 25 to 30 foot. And she suddenly lifts up and goes, "It's a sign. It's a sign. We can do this. I was so weak
if
this
they weren't
morning,
a cult
we can do
before,
this."
they're about to be now because of
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Thanks,
and-
Snipe.
she starts to fly slowly around the dome, and Bailiff Cloud goes, See, we can do this. Sister Stone here is doing it.
Simon.
And he goes to say something and stops because he knows that he's compelled to truth. Looks at you all, not really that much in the way of duplicity, just that he's holding something back that he just doesn't want to share with you guys. And he goes, see, this has never happened before. See how we can change our nature, how we can grow. You came to me today because you felt weak, you felt powerless, you felt like you couldn't go on, that your journey has been too long, that you can't...
Question.
Yep.
Are there windows in this place?
There's very narrow, very narrow windows, probably no more than the width of your
journey,
hand.
Huh?
And Nick, you're somehow muted.
I was going to say, Aiden, you cannot yeet yourself out the window.
No, that's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do
arrow
is
slits converted into small colored plain
from
windows.
These windows. Can I see outside? What's outside?
No, they are stained glass so that you can't be distracted by the outside. They let light in, and in fact, there's a slight kaleidoscope of colors. It's quite pretty. It's a well-designed place, but you can't see outside.
I go in the group chat. Cora, is Awen still with you?
She's here.
I will reply. Awen is still gripped onto Eclipse's belt.
Yep. I still got
she's
my
not letting go. Why?
Can you do me a quick favor?
Yes. What?
Can you have her outside? I am worried we're gonna be... Just in case.
Okay, if we lose Eclipse, it's on you. And I'll I'll repeat the same to Enola. So she'll head outside to keep watch.
Yeah.
Awen.
Outside
Awen, sorry.
Awen.
God damn it, I'm doing it now.
Yeah, just keep a watch outside of the place.
Yep. Doing it.
Yeah, so Awen jets outside and she goes, No, everybody's acting normal. A few people are looking in the direction because, well, we're new in town, but they're leaving the caravan alone as well. I'll keep an eye out, but everything seems normal here. Well, as normal as this place gets.
Stay watching.
And she says, okay, I'm sat on top of the entrance, and I'll keep an eye. There's a weird building to the side of this, and kind of looks...
Another off the checklist.
Weird building.
And it's a smaller version of this, maybe a smaller tomb. I'm not sure. The preacher carries on and goes, "This is it. You see, we can do this together. You came to me today. You came to me because you were weak. Well, you felt weak. You aren't weak. We're all strong, but we're stronger together. We can do this. We can be different. We can learn from our mistakes. They said that we could not be more than we are, that we would always be that way. But we, look at us." And he raises his arms wide, embracing everyone around him and says, "Look at us. Look at what we've achieved. Everything around us is us. It's not fake." And he's kind of aware, not even going to get you to roll, he's kind of aware how odd this sounds. But at this point, he's almost forgotten that Farewell is stood next to him, and he's beseeching the people in the crowd.
Out of curiosity, everything he's saying he must believe is true.
Yes.
Because he won't be able to say it otherwise. The thing that I'm absolutely curious about, that's tearing me to absolute pieces at the moment, is when you say this is like a shrine to this, where are the actual, in this room, the symbols of the gods. Whereabouts are they? Are they in front of me or are they behind me?
Give me your choice of perception or religion or history.
Ooh.
Each one will give you a different thing. If you have a reason to focus on more than one, give me a reason, and I'll allow you to roll for both. Or three if you have a reason.
I'm going to go with... I may push my luck and go for 2. I'm going to start with religion on the basis that I know churches. I know where they should or commonly are kept within either... I don't think this qualifies as a grand cathedral, but this is simply... But then again, this is bigger than a lay church. This is no bog standard chapel. This is not a cathedral, but it's a sizable church. I'm going to start religion.
Okay. Give me a roll.
Come on.
You can do it.
So that's a 21 on religion.
Some things that jump out to you right from the start. So if this is laid out like an Alabaster Way shrine, they're all in a circle around each other, showing that the gods are as one, that they make up what good is. This is not like that because the gods are in 2 rows either side. Mm-hmm. Once you start thinking on that, you think, layout normally where they have a lot of gods like this, typically what you would have is Pelor, the All-Father, and Melora, the All-Mother, at the head of the thing, and then after that you would have facing each other, but in a cooperative way, you would have Ioun and Arathis. And then closest to the door, you would normally have Cord and Dragon God.
Yeah, not Tiamat.
Bahamut and Cord are almost always at the entrance.
Forbidden one.
Because they're the protectors. Yeah.
So where do you find the Raven Queen then?
Raven Queen's normally somewhere in the middle. Normally she's facing Arathis. Not Arathis, sorry, Avandra, because it's well known that they have a kind of friendly rivalry between the two, one being fate and the other one being luck. So there is some variation in the middle, but towards the head and towards the door, it's almost always that way. So it looks like these were placed in a more random order. You can't tell the logic behind it. And normally people are pretty fastidious about these kind of things if they're doing this. The other thing you notice that as you're looking at them, now that you're paying particular focus on the statues, is that they are all fairly recent. There's some of them that look a little bit older, but some of them do look recent, as in recent in the last 50 to 60 years. But the plinths that they're on look a lot older. Not as old as the rest of the building, but maybe there was some sort of event that happened here where they had to redo the statues or something. Or maybe the statues just got really old or something, but it's indoors, so that's a bit weird. As you're looking at that, I will give you a perception check. I'm going to force a perception check myself for you.
That's a natural one.
A natural one. That's all you get. What was the second thing that you wanted to roll?
I was gonna roll actually perception because I was interested in the bowl. I want.
In that case, roll it. Yeah.
I want to understand the significance of why that guy went. What the hell was that? Oh shit! I need to look at this empty bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that went flying straight out of my dice tray.
You know what you need? A dice tray made...
I need you to get me one of those big hench-ass mother... That is so cool.
Yeah.
Hold it up. I want to see how big
what you
it
want
really
is a
is.
dice tray that does 1d6 bashing damage.
Dude, that's bigger than your head. That's awesome.
I'll tell my uncle to make one for you and see if he can ship it to the UK.
Yes.
Maybe of lighter wood.
It's nice wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 24.
24. you can see that the guy is maintaining a vigil ritual. As long as he maintains the vigil and keeps his mind on whatever he's keeping his mind on, and is because a vigil is always a test of faith. So a night's vigil, you have to keep your mind on prayer, on purity, on whatever the hell your vigil is for. He's keeping a vigil of looking at an empty bowl, and as you look at it, because you scored highly enough, you realize that this is no religious bowl. It's a freaking dinner plate, effectively. It's a piece of crockery. There's nothing special about this bowl.
Imitating religious practices without knowing how to properly do
they
them.
are.
Yeah, that was the conclusion.
I will give this to you because you rolled so highly, Farewell. Whatever ritual he's doing, it's working.
What?
Okay.
What?
He's under a zone of truth. This guy's under a zone of truth. I'm giving it with the 24 that you got, Nick. Farewell can feel that whatever this guy is doing, he's genuine about it, and it's working. You don't know what the ritual is, but you know under a zone of truth that he is genuinely performing it.
I turn to Cloud and I smile and go. I must say it warms my heart to see the old practices kept. Tell me, what does he keep vigil for?
He allows us to not be distracted by our base needs, our sinful needs. He looks into the bowl. The bowl has nothing. It shows what we would hunger for. By keeping the vigil, he holds our hunger for that which we must control ourselves around.
Hunger.
And he takes it upon himself. It's not always that Brother Wave is doing this.
Another Tavaxian name.
He does. We take it in turns. Those of us who are feeling strongest, those of us who are feeling particularly pious, those who feel like through prayer and through devotion that the gods are with us, then we step up and we bolster the rest of our brethren here.
Simon, is like sin a big thing in I don't feel like, especially with like Sehanine and stuff, like, which is like essentially a goddess of sex, that there is no like big sins in the
sin is not like Christian sin here, so you're quite right. Sex is not sinful here. Evil is sinful here. So torturing people, oppressing people,
Absurd.
Excuse you.
Take your religious arguments out.
The man has spoken.
Sins here are very much moral sins, not God told you can't eat that fish whilst wearing that hat kind of sin. So when he's saying about
Which is actually a thing.
getting people to not fall to sin in this case is actually a really meritorious thing. It's not about controlling people's lives. It's not about putting certain social impositions in place. This is stopping people from being genuinely evil. And this guy did it under a zone of truth. So when he said that's what the guy's doing, that's what he's doing. He may have not given you the specifics, but this guy is stopping sin.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I must ask, Cloud,
but also no, that's not quite how it works.
Have you previously had problems with such control issues?
So many. I mean, in our history, in this village's history, we have fallen so many times to some more notable than others. You could say there is a formative event that we'd rather not talk about, if you don't mind. That brought us all together in this way. We bear that price together. We bear the price of the past. We remember what went before, and we're using that as the focus for us all to be able to live good lives, productive lives, whilst controlling and maintaining our base urges. and by base urges, he doesn't mean sex.
No, he means violence.
To be able to continue with this wholesome existence that we have, we are becoming better than we once were.
Actually, Simon, I want to do another perception check.
Go ahead. What are you looking for?
It. The way this guy's speaking, the things I've heard, I want to look at every person here that is not the party, right?
Yeah.
And I want to look what I'm going to call for cracks. Or like uncanny things.
Cracks, not crack. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the crack. I'm looking for the village crack addict.
Please God, after all this religion, I need crack.
No, like I'm calling it cracks, but it's like,
Breaks
you know that
in
thing
the
when
masks
a
they're
thing
wearing.
inhabits someone's body, and then the body. Have you seen Men in Black, the first one?
Yeah.
You know how like the guy's body starts degenerating throughout the film. I'm basically looking for that.
Okay. Give me the roll.
Because the way this guy's speaking is very weird, even under Sono Truth.
It's like he's talking about something they've all lived through instead of something they learned from their...
Yeah.
Hunter's Bane, does that apply? Yes or no before I roll?
Yeah, because if it's there, it would apply. So yes, roll as if you're correct.
Bear in mind, the Zone in Truth only lasts for 10 minutes, so
fair enough.
Let me know
14.
when it runs out, Simon.
No, give me a moment. Sorry, it's perception.
I'm gonna give you narrative time.
15.
15. No signs of that. You are drawn to the putting the hand on the stomach. And with a 15. Hang on.
Oh boy, he has to check his notes.
That's a good thing.
With a 15, that's all you get. You're drawn to the hand on the stomach, but that's it.
All right. Okay.
I go back.
I enjoyed writing this.
I go back into the group chat because it's really nice that we can talk to each other telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Cora and Glory if either of them have an ability to detect magic, and if they can.
I mean,
if
I
they
can, but it's kind of visible.
Scratching her head.
Yeah, I would assume that perhaps if there was a more like, if you could cast it without obviously like putting your jewel to your eye and
give me a moment.
I recently changed my invocation to that.
Ooh,
cool.
So I can do it, cast it at will. It says components, verbal and somatic, so I don't know how obvious. That's maybe up to
You can
Simon.
just like hold up and pray.
So you can either use deception or stealth.
You're pretty good at deception.
You're pretty good.
Yeah.
Give me a moment because I think I can do something similar, but it's not quite magic. But I think it might help. Just give me a moment. I need to look it up. I haven't played in a while.
You want me to roll a deception just in case? God,
Simon.
I don't know whether I trust this dice.
Let me resolve Cora first.
Yeah, do Cora first, and let's see if my thing applies.
Cora was the first to initiate.
No, that's fair.
Cora, if you want to cast this, you either do deception or stealth.
Okay. Oh my god, all my dice keep rolling ones. Do I re-roll with the same one or not?
Roll a different one.
Come on, this blue dice is always my good one. Please be a good roll.
Don't jinx it.
Okay, I mean it's not like amazing, but it's not bad. So
Okay.
that would be
Not terrible.
21
Okay.
for deception.
With 21 deception, bear in mind most people are looking away from you. Normally I get you to roll with advantage. I just lowered the diff. So as they are currently looking at the preacher, the guest preacher, and the what looks to be a 21-year-old woman in a pink dress flying above them.
Oh yeah. That one.
Yeah.
So needless to say, you more than pass.
Okay.
So this is what you see. you can see that a divine light is bathed all over the place, and you're like, "Yep, that's the zone of truth. No problem." You see that it's what divination school. The floating, because she's listening to the sermon, because she's like, "Oh my God, the gods have blessed me. I better keep listening." She is surrounded in what I can only describe as a bright white light, like the color of light bouncing off snow, with little spectral, like little rainbow flecks in it, which. Would you know that? Would you know that? You're not quite sure what that is. Maybe ask Glory. That's the type of thing Glory.
I will probably, because we're on the group chat, we're just doing this through mind, right? Don't we?
Yeah, you can just say Glory.
I will call it. I will say yes, I can do this now. I think. Let me just try, and then I will call out what I see. I'm like, I see this. I think that's the zone of truth. I see this color. Blah blah blah. What is that? I don't know what it is. She's levitating.
Okay, Glory.
So I'll
you don't
repeat
even
everything.
need to roll. So both Glory and Eclipse, actually, you don't need to roll. She's describing what looks, what through the detect magic spell is the maelstrom. That's wild magic. You know, as a trained arcanist and the sorcerer, that sorcerers that wield wild magic, which is untamed magic, that they basically just riff it. A very dangerous form of magic. That's what's happened. The maelstrom is empowering this girl, which means at some point it's just going to disappear and she's not going to be able to fly again. It wasn't the gods, it's a random magical event.
Okay.
Farewell probably
Yeah,
did it by accident. Yeah.
It seems to happen a lot to us.
Yeah.
Weird that. Yeah.
Tell you what, you make several different magical versions of yourself once, and everybody assumes that all the wild magic going off is your fault.
Let me see anything else. Yes, you can see a ritual, Kate, that the guy at the bowl is definitely performing a kind of sustained spell. Let me see. It's an illusion spell. Or illusion based, but it seems to be divine as well.
Okay. All right. I will say the same.
Well, actually, hang on. Let me.
Yeah. So
It looks kind of divine. It's you can't really tell the divine from the magical elements in it. It's like divine illusion. How does that work? It's the closest that you can perceive it. Bear in mind, you see this as like colors and auras and things, so it's a bit hard to judge. The guy who is mixing up the potions on the left is arcane. It is absolutely arcane, and it seems to be restoration.
Okay. Oh, I mean, again, I will be relaying all of this.
Yeah.
In our group chat.
Yeah. Like.
So. Nothing particularly overt or insidious.
So the only thing I didn't really understand, is what kind of illusion is being cast. So is the guy casting illusion, or is the bowl under an illusion, or could I tell
the
where
whole
the
thing?
illusion...
So the bowl is a ritual component. The guy who's casting it is the guy on the vigil. And you know that the School of Illusion can create illusions, but it can also do things like charm person, certain fear effects.
And I'm not getting an idea of who it's being cast on or what's being cast. It's not reflecting the same color on like, say, the preacher next to Farewell or anything.
Because it's he's radiating it like a beacon.
Right.
So once it goes out a certain distance from him, all the other background magical things, because magic is everywhere, tend to dilute it out. But you have a feeling that it's just he's just generally a generator of this energy, and it's just going out. So he's just generally supplying the area with more of this mojo. He's not focusing it on one person like a dominate effect or a charm effect. It would be like a freaking laser beam to the target.
Yeah.
This he's just kind of generally giving
everyone.
it out, and it's waving out.
I want to break that ball, but I'm gonna say to everyone, but I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna be like, we should stop this guy. Then we'll know what's really happening here. You're muted, Nick.
But by the way, an important thing about the tech magic that sometimes misunderstood that you can't detect magic effects that you can't, like, of an object that you cannot see. So currently you don't see the magic effect that's upon me with invisibility. So you don't see me.
Yes. You can't detect an invisibility spell with detect magic.
Yeah.
I've fallen to that before.
Does the School of Illusions sound right for the vigil that he's keeping?
If it's trying to bolster someone's mind, there are spells of the School of Illusion which are effectively calm emotions is one example of it, where it's a beneficial illusion spell. There are other ones as well which generally just give people courage. There are beneficial ways of manipulating somebody's mind. Normally you would just write into the spell that it's not compulsory, that it's something they can choose to accept or not. So there are beneficial ones where you're not you're not enforcing a change in someone's mental state. You're offering magic as a way of bolstering a preferential mental state. So it's not a deal breaker here. The guy could be doing the preacher certainly believes he's doing that, and you have evidence now to suggest that he is doing that. He's taking on this sin.
I really don't want to start like dispelling magic and stopping what's ever going on, because whatever it is, as weird and standoffish as they are, they're peaceful. They wholeheartedly believe in whatever they're doing, and they believe that whatever they're doing is right. That doesn't make it right, of course, but they wholeheartedly believe. And at the moment, Farewell at least is of the firm opinion that more guile is needed, and maybe Eclipse could potentially find another way into underneath the mausoleum, because she's good at that sort of thing. She's found one secret tunnel, maybe she can find another.
True.
And we'll take that way, rather than turning these people into puzzles of goo for no reason, then having to massacre the whole village because they've gone murder rapey.
I get that. I mean, if we think they're being manipulated or something.
Again, though, it's something you have to bear in mind. If this is a Yarnum situation, Aiden has by obligation kind of need to burn the village down. So just bear that in mind.
I'm perfectly fine with that plan. That is.
And if we are,
I don't like it when Aiden and Glory are on the same side of the plan.
There is another building we should check out before we do anything, and we can't access a tunnel while there's all these people in here.
Send the invisible person to go check it out.
Yeah, Nick, you were about to say something.
Let the cat do the zoomies and check it out.
Yes, Nick.
What?
You were going to say something.
Yeah. I agree. If it goes full Yarnum, then absolutely, burn it, salt the earth.
I really need to find out what Yarnum is. I'm gonna go Google.
Neither do I, but I'm
Google it, and then regret it immediately. And then we'll have to salt the earth thereafter. There's just, whilst it's too perfect, and that sets me on ease. There is more to this, and I don't have all of the pieces together to put together the right answer, and I'm unwilling to start taking lives until such point I've got more information. And so I trust Eclipse to have her ability to find more trouble really go into play now. And I'm quite happy to set her free and let her go cause chaos and find us a way in there.
You're gonna regret those words.
I am, but sometimes you've just got to let it go.
Yes,
Don't you mean let the cat go? Anyway.
Hey, we've all heard your version of that, Kate. You know, you could always rendition us for us now.
No, it's all right.
Yes, I will have a look at the other place, the other little weird
We'll
thing.
spend a few minutes on this, but then we'll have to wrap up because we are 1 minute from 11.
Yeah, zoomies. I slip out.
I think this is probably a good place at the end of this to stop.
Yeah, probably.
So, you in your invisible form And Nick, I will go back on this at the beginning of the next session to allow you to get whatever the last questions you want out of the zone of truth. So, Eclipse, you stalk out of the shrine, and following the instructions relayed to you by Cora from Eowyn of where the other building is. Actually, on the see, you've graffitied it already.
Concern.
That was the first thing she did.
Yeah.
Concern.
There is a building off to the side. That looks like a smaller tomb. You can see that again with your background that this is either the tomb of a lover or a child or a good friend of the person who's in the main tomb. When you start to pad your way inside, and I'm not going to bother with the stealth, you've done good enough so far, I'm just going to trip on.
And also,
you can see that inside, cross-legged, in what seems to be almost a trance, is an elf. They are just in quiet contemplation on a mat, and flanking them on either side are two, either side, smaller sarcophagus. These are being used kind of like tables, a little irreverent. And lying on one of them is a quite thin, wan, weak-looking, very, very pale. I mean, they're a redhead. You can see they've got freckles from being out in the sun, so completely covered in freckles. But you can see that they are ghostly white. And compared to most of the people, even the elf that's in front of you, who looks too buff for an elf, this one is incredibly thin. You watch as the elf looks over, not at you, but the pale figure. And the pale figure goes, "It's time." The elf stands up, brushes their legs off, and says, "Do you trust me, sister?" At which point he says, "I trust you, brother." There's no familial
resemblance I can see.
Resemblance, that's the word, between the two of them. And
I guess if they're like half, and like one was human, two human parents, the other one is two elf, and then no.
Either way, no resemblance.
No resemblance.
Yeah. Let's not go down that tangent. We haven't got the time. The elf puts their hands cupped in front of the mouth of the redhead. Their redhead suddenly just violently convulsing, and then retches. Blood starts to come out of their mouth. Deep, dark, scarlet blood comes out of their mouth as a small mass of tentacles with a body that has what seems to be like little teeth like that that seem to hook on, presumably causing the blood, suddenly out of the mouth and into the elf's hands.
So, but there's loose tentacles. It's not them.
From what you can see here, 5 tentacles and 4 of these strange teeth that are almost like a grappling hook coming out of this small, slightly ovoid creature. No eyes that you can see. It thrashes around in the elf's hands, not in the way of trying to escape, but kind of just like, I don't know, energized or maybe in slight distress, just kind of active, more active than you would expect, kind of a little thrashing around. And the redhead says, Look after my soul, brother. And suddenly goes, and you can see this rictus on this figure's face. The flesh starts to contort. The hair falls out, and the body arches its back as the skin starts to darken. The body lengthens, suddenly becomes a lot stronger, it starts to fill out, almost like it's inflating. And what seems like the longest 20 seconds that you have experienced in a very long time.
Yeah, fair enough.
The clothes start to become very tight. This person's wearing jerkin and trews. The shoes have been taken off, so not everything as per Roll20, but the shoes have already been taken off. You can see that the legs are now swelling inside the trews. The trews are actually straining to the point where the seams might split. The jerkin now is way too small. They've gone from not filling it out to completely filling it out. And muscles bulging against it. The skin darkens from this pallid white into this almost dove grey, darker than dove grey, actually, about 50% grey skin. You can see that stripes are starting to come out of the skin as you see very familiarly a Goliath now lies there. The hair on the head starts to grow rapidly. You're accustomed to most of the Goliaths in the city, female Goliaths in the city, having long cornrow tresses to keep the hair manageable in battle. But this now is just growing in this unkempt way, almost this kind of running cloud of black hair going down the back. And when the 20 seconds are over, hyperventilating in strong breaths, wiping the spit and blood from their mouth. I did it. $112. The elf goes, well done. We wouldn't want to lose another of our number. And then proffers the strange tentacled creature to the Goliath's mouth. The Goliath opens their mouth as wide as they can. And swallows the creature whole. Places their hands on the stomach and goes, we are one. And with that, we're going to end the game for tonight.
Fuck you, Simon.
What the actual fuck?
We Bloodborne now, boys.
They're just a nice symbiotic family. I don't know why everyone's worried.
I mean, I had such faith that we had gotten this all wrong, and that you never know that the people up here might be like, oh, good, but no.
I don't trust like that, man.
Fucking carrying parasites, and you know what? I've never.
They're literally Las Plagas from Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I know. Just burn it. Just burn it all.
Theory time. Very quick theory time.
Yeah, sure. You got enough time for that.
Yes. Very quick theory time. These guys are like the old guard or something from the reason why they all have a tabaxi. They are old, like, ancient tabaxis that have found some way with these weird parasites to, like, change bodies to keep them alive.
Probably. And now we're going to burn them all to the ground.
I am contractually obligated to burn this fucking place to the ground.
Depending on if they are like, are they doing this to other people, or are they just like prolonging?
I don't care.
Maybe they're protecting something, and that's why they have to keep going. We should find out more first. They haven't done anything wrong yet.
Like even on a base
Just
level,
living
if
long.
you're right, that is such a huge violation of everything that the Raven
I'm just
Queen stands
clipping
for.
theories here. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I would just like to point out that Glory, Aiden, and Farewell are on the same page about this, and Cora and Eclipse are on the other side of the camp right now.
I'm just like,
something is wrong with this division.
No.
I don't know, man. Like they could be
I
good
just want
body
more
snatchers
information.
that use
And
horrible
I
parasites.
don't want to kill them in case they have information about the Horde of Jordan. That is my.
Oh, is that your only
motivation.
reason? It's like,
Yeah, that's my
they
entire
might be bad, but they
motivation.
might have information.
Oh my god.
They are a cult, but Jordan.
Yes.
But Jordan.
But Jordan.
They're a cult. But Jordan though.
Yeah.
I so enjoyed writing this. I wrote this months ago, and I love it.
Accept Glory's
I
entire
can tell.
family if they could hand her information on the Heart on Jordan.
The worst thing is I'm already thinking
They won't
about
have
it.
the
Is,
same.
and
They won't have any of the information that Eclipse doesn't already have.
Question.
Sorry,
Simon.
Rodrigo.
No, just a quick question. In total, from what we can gather, how many people live in this village?
Probably close
A rough
to
estimate.
about, from what you've seen, there's you can estimate at least 70 people in this village.
And we saw no children.
She said 112, didn't she? The Goliath.
112 was the number that the Goliath said.
That might have been 112 bodies. Like we don't know anything what that means.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I want to do a kids version now, titled "The Village of the Tummy Tentacles." I've got a chibi version of this. There we go.
Well, yeah, Hermit, we're gonna commit mass murder. That is nothing new.
I mean, we're murdering.
All I'm gonna say, in the name of His Most Holy God Emperor, we find this place to be profane and unholy.
Brother,
and as such,
get the flamer. Get the heavy flamer.
We declare exterminatus, and as such, all souls are hereby damned.
Inquisition
Staff
approved.
of alchemy.
Stuffed staff of alchemy. So it's actually a stuffed toy staff.
Anyways, Aiden is going to have a very interesting conversation with his family next time Sundown comes down.
Yeah.
So you expected a dungeon, and well, a dungeon's just not that challenging to you guys anymore. So I've turned it up to 11.
No, Simon, what if a dungeon, but a dungeon is a village? That's what you said.
I mean, we wait until night and we kill everyone while we're in there.
I don't think, if Felicia, even though as powerful as we are, I don't think
I don't care.
I don't think we can kill 112 people by ourselves.
This is
as
what
soon
I'm
as
gonna
it's
call
dusk, Aiden can call upon an
reinforcements.
army of blood hunters to burn this.
Aiden
village
is actually
down.
going to go back when he finds out he's going back to the Dusk Hole and go. Yes, so this whole from what this whole place is gonna burn, and I'm gonna need some help.
Yeah, I had to knowing that I was going. Okay, well, I'm going to make the decisions in absentia of what Aiden's going to do. I was like, yeah, I did give him a legion of blood hunters, so this has really turned up quite high now.
Yeah,
so anything where you've got time.
If they're peasants and villagers, I mean, how good are their saving throws really? I mean, you could do things like just put on guardian spirits and go for a walk.
Leftover army of Jordan and our highly trained warriors.
They're still doing.
They are all
basically
hench.
an affront against God. So
They are all henge as
I'm
fuck.
pretty sure. I reckon 6 versus 115.
Like roughly between 70 and 112.
Oh, we could fucking have that.
Glory could do that on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
You just
you take the
herd them all.
35 on the left, I'll take the 40 on the right. It'll be a thing. It's fine.
I mean,
No,
it's
let's
fine.
go
It's
through
fine.
the secret tunnel and have fun.
Secret
Anyway,
tunnel.
We need to say, it's been a while.
Yeah,
So
we can have them.
with the plot thickening in the village of Warrenford, but
Of the
more
mouse.
questions than answers. We're going to come back next week between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. UK time to continue what promises to be a continuing twisting maze, as I said in the chat.
So excited about
this. And
I finally get to go full on Bloodborne. I love this.
I've just seen Nick's summary in the chat, in the Discord chat.
The deeds of the God Emperor and our undying Lord.
So yeah, you've got a bunch of people that I will quickly recap. Were genuine in their faith, or at least from what they said.
Yeah.
Were genuinely performing a ritual which prevented sin.
Yeah, that's.
And if they are the souls of ancient Tabaxi warriors who probably committed a lot of sin in Jordan's war.
Not necessarily their sin. They could be wrong. It could be the actual Juridan general's sin, and they're keeping him bound up, and by massacring them all, we could be setting them free, which is the reason why I sent the cat to find us another way in.
Yeah, we got to find out stuff before.
Is certainly very not good.
They might be repressing something.
Get the fucking canopy jar, and then we burn the village to the ground.
Well, let's figure out more on what's going on, because currently it's all guesswork.
I don't care.
That's our life.
The other thing, because a couple of you mentioned it now, so I will confirm, based on your observations, no children and no one of old age.
That was another thing that I was in my checklist of like bad things in a village. I forgot about that.
Yeah, no children or staring children. Both are bad things in the Canalm book. We need to write the Canalm book.
Staring children.
We do.
So yeah, you've seen you've
I'll
not
get
seen
on that,
anyone old or young. Everybody is between the ages of 20 and about 65. You've seen obviously the last scene, which tells you some things, and you have got the conversation that was had between the two ranchers as well. So I'll leave you to cogitate on that this week. We are going to do a quick raid, but our next game is going to be
finale.
The last episode of The Price of Vengeance on Monday, where we will have Jordan, Danny, Corinne, and Felicia back as our Forsaken officers, joined by our relentless and, in a lot of cases, more successful than the players, Skags, Hermit, and Scornfuse, both of which of the Nightbot functions you saw earned. I've put them in the chat and used both of them in the chat. Take a look above. As they find out as much as they can about the Doctor and his mysterious master and what's been going on.
The Architect!
Oh no.
Oh yes, our pirates are facing the apprentice of the Architect, which means that the Architect has at least one apprentice.
Minimum
making
one,
fucked up things on Ilaria.
Anyway.
There's been a lot of feelings regarding that, yes.
So, with that, we're going to go and do a little raid. I just need to figure out who we're going to raid very quickly. But thank you very much, guys. We've got, again, 8 p.m. Oh, I'm hearing myself. From 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday, The Last of the Pirates. Tuesday is going to be Star Wars, as we're hunting for a Sith. And then we're back again on Friday to continue this delightful adventure. We'll see you guys then. Kate, if you want to do the...
everyone.
I'm ready for end credits. I'm just waiting for you to wrap it up.
Yep. Other than that, good night. Stick around for the credits and the raid. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Night, everyone.
Bye.